Hello and welcome to Mulcahy Stadium. Will Hopkins alongside Vic Massia here inside the booth as the Anchorage Bucs host the Chugiak-Eagle River Chinooks. The Bucs standing at 5-2 in league play with the Chinooks improving to 4-4 after a 5-2 victory over the Glacier Pilots yesterday. For the Bucs, the last game also came against the Pilots, that a narrow 3-2 loss on Tuesday. And for the Bucs, this won't be their first time trying to avenge a loss against the Pilots with a win against the Chinooks.
Yeah, I mean, it happened earlier on in the season. The first loss was with the Pilots, and then after that game, we saw five straight wins from this Bucks team, who's looked really hot. And of course, a hiccup in the road yesterday versus the Glacier Pilots, where they lost 3-2. We saw really good pitching from this Bucks staff. The bats were a little bit quiet, just with three hits, but which how good this offense has been. Of course, we had the three non-league games, so it's not like they weren't playing for the past week almost. But the bats were definitely a little bit cold, even in the non-league games. So we're looking to get back out there. But a really good pitching matchup, and I'm sure we'll get to that soon.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what type of game we'll get between the Bucks and the Chinooks today because we've kind of gotten a little bit of everything. This will be the fourth total matchup between the two teams, the third in league play. The first one just a 1-0 win
Mm-hmm.
for the Bucks, like you mentioned, the first win of the season after a loss to the Pilots to get things started. And then the second one, 12-7. That was the last time they played in league play. That was last Wednesday. So obviously a much higher scoring game, 27 total hits. And then back on Sunday in the non-league game, a 3-0 win for the Bucks, zero hits for the Chinooks. The Bucks, four pitchers combining for a no-hitter. So we've seen high scoring, we've seen
Mm-hmm.
low scoring, and it'll be interesting to see what we happens today, especially when we've got two pitchers that are familiar with these batting orders.
Yeah, and two pitchers that are familiar facing off against each other. They did it back on June 7th, and both pitched really good games. But it's going to be interesting because they faced each other so many times. The teams, Bucks and Chinooks, have faced each other so many times. So there's no really secrets going into
No.
today's game. So it's just who could put together better pitching and who can get those big hits when needed. And I could expect another low-scoring game with the two guys on the hill today, Will.
Yeah, it'll be Carlone for the Bucks, and as for the Chinooks, it'll be Brantingham.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get a little bit more into those two guys and bring you the full lineups when we come back. back at Mulcahy Stadium. We referenced a little bit about the pitching matchup, which is the same pitching matchup we saw back on Wednesday. That was June 7th, the
Hmm.
first week of the season. Cole Carlone for the Bucs, Bowen Brantingham for the Chinooks. We'll get into Carlone first since he'll be taking the mound first. In that game, it was 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. Super effective stuff. His only other appearance so far this year, at least of record, was in non-league play. So not going towards his stats, but that was on Friday against the Miners. 3 innings, no runs, 4 strikeouts, and 3 of them of the looking variety.
Yeah, Carlone, going back to that first game, the only frustrating part about that is he doesn't get the win because he didn't go 5 innings. So just those 4 innings, but he looked really good against the same Chinooks team. No runs given up, like you said, just 2 hits. And the strikeouts were there in just that 1 walk. He had a really good command of the zone. His breaking ball was looking really good. Electric fastball from a lefty too. You love to see that coming downhill. He's pretty tall,
Yeah.
about 6'3", so you're going to see it coming over the top. And just from that lefty side, he's a really tough pitcher to pick up. And going back to that June 14th game, and then non-league, no pressure at all, but 3 innings pitched. Like we said, could have easily gone 4 or 5 innings if it wasn't a non-league game. Those were 7 inning games where scouts are trying to see a lot of pitchers. So not a surprise to see him just go those 3 innings, but looked really good again with that just 1 hit and those 4 Ks. So is it definitely a strikeout guy? That's his preferred way to get people out, but we saw him get ground balls and pop flies just like the other guys.
And speaking of innings for Bowen Brantingham against the Bucs back on the 7th, it was 7 innings, the most we've seen in any Bucs game so far this season in terms of how long a pitcher is going. 5 hits, 1 earned run coming on a double play. So
Mm.
it's not like it was a big double or anything like that. 1 walk and just 2 strikeouts. So you mentioned the strikeouts for Carlone, a little bit different for Brantingham in terms of the way he was getting guys out.
Yeah, and not just that. And you know what? Bo Brantingham could definitely be a strikeout guy. He just might be up against guys that don't like to strike out, and we've seen that from the Bucks. Just 2 strikeouts last night in their loss. They just looked really good. They looked really disciplined. They've been drawing a lot of walks. Last night had about four. Oh, excuse me, I have it pulled up right in front of me. Had 3 walks, so actually a little bit on the low end. We've seen 15 walks given up by the Chinooks to the Bucks, and
Yep.
that was a game at Chugiak. And the Bucks took that one 12-7. But this team, this Bucks team, does not like to strike out. They do a very good job of putting the ball in play. We talked to Springman about it after the game yesterday, who's just a little confused at how they dropped that game 3-2 with just how good the bats were looking. And for Bo Brantingham, could definitely be a strikeout guy just against the Bucks. Might not have that ability to do so, but he looked really good. And going back to Cole Carlone, the most frustrating thing about Brantingham's start is that he gets the loss because, well, he pitched 7 innings and gave up just that 1 run. But like we said on that ground ball double play, he pitched a really good game.
Yeah, he definitely did. And a lot of these bats are familiar faces for these pitchers, although there are a couple of new faces. And as the managers meet with the umpires at home plate, Vic's going to give you those full lineups for both of these squads.
Starting with the visiting Chinooks, Oliver Dagenhart will lead it off and play shortstop. Luis Zulaikas in the 2 hole playing second base. Jordan Joffe bats third and plays first base. The cleanup hitter, Jacob Hayes, is the designated hitter, batting 5 and behind home plate, catching up. The pitcher, Brantingham, is Tim Reynolds. Batting sixth, playing center field, is Jaden Hill. The 7 hole hitter and playing third base, David Broughton. Brady Groves will bat eighth and play in left field, and Sam Kwapinowski will bat ninth and play in right field. He rounds out the order for the visiting Chinooks, all behind their starting pitcher, Bo Brantingham. As for the hometown Anchorage Bucs, they'll lead it off with Josh Hankins. He plays second base. Then Zane Kelly back in the 2 hole will play right field. Tommy Eisenstadt, the usual 3 hole guy, will play at first base. The cleanup batter, Will Burns, like usual, will play shortstop. Hitting fifth and playing at third is Ryan Callahan. The 6 hole batter, Andrew Lamb, will be the designated hitter. Adam Enyart gets the start in left field again. He bats seventh. Brody Briggs will be behind home plate, catching up Carlone. He'll bat in the 8th hole, and rounding out the order for the Bucks in the 9 hole, Max Ross will play center field, all behind their starting lefty pitcher, Cole Carlone. So once again for the Chinooks, going back to them, Dagenhart, Zulaika, Joffe, Hayes, Reynolds, Hill, Broughton, Groves, and Kwapnowski. As for the Bucks, it'll be Hankins, Kelly, Eisenstadt, Burns, Callahan, Lamb, Enyart, Briggs, and Ross. And looking now, the umpire's still talking with the head coaches there, Springman, and as for the visiting Chinooks, it'll be Tim Cole. He's their head coach. The pitching coach is Kyle Peets for Chinooks, and for the Bucks, it'll be Coach Tim Montez, who's the Ottawa U coach in Arizona. As the umpires shake the hands of the coaches, just moments away, we'll have the national anthem in just a minute. But going back to these two starting pitchers, like we said, June 7th was their last time out, and they faced each other. That was their only league game that we have so far. Brantingham, not sure if he pitched in one of the non-league games. If he did, it was not against the Bucs here. So we'll step aside. We'll bring you the national anthem. Actually, we'll have to mute our mics for the national anthem, just to avoid any copyright problems. We apologize for that. But if you're at home, please sing along. Welcome back to Mulcahy Stadium. A little overcast skies here, different than what we've been seeing the past couple days. Been bright blue skies, but here just cloudy overhead. Shouldn't be raining. Should be a clear day. And on the hill, the big lefty Cole Carlone out for his second start in league play. We remind you his last start came in this second game played for these Bucs back in June 7th. 4 innings pitched, no runs, 2 hits, 6 strikeouts, and 1 walk. As for Brantingham, who we'll see in the bottom half of this inning, also pitched on June 7th. So these two going at it again. I guess you could say Cole Carlone got the better of Brantingham, but Brantingham went 7 innings pitched, gave up just that one run on 5 hits, 2 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Unfortunately, suffered the loss against these Bucs with that 1 run given up on a ground ball double play. So we'll see Brantingham in the bottom half of this inning, but for now, it'll be Cole Carlone coming into this game. The Bucs are 5-2 after their most recent loss just a couple of days ago, a 3-2 loss to the Pilots. As for the visiting Chinooks, they even it up at 4-4 on their record. They won 5-2 against the Glacier Pilots just last night. A home run for Oliver Dagenhart, who will see lead off the bottom or the top half of this inning. He had a home run in last night's game, so first one of the 2024 season for him. And we'll see the Chinooks. They have a guys that can definitely hit him all over the place. Jaden Hill's got a lot of power. Of course, Joffe has power too. Jacob Hayes as well. We've seen the Chinooks put up 7 runs against these Bucs in that 12-7 victory in the second game that they played against each other. As Carlone finishes up his tosses, the Bucs are in their home white pinstripes. White jerseys with black pinstripes, Bucs written across the chest in black, outlined in yellow with those white pinstripe pants as well. For the visiting Chinooks, blue jerseys with red lettering, Chinooks written across the chest, outlined in white, and those gray pants as well. So Carlone stretches and he gets ready to go. And now for the play-by-play, here is Will Hopkins.
Thank you very much, Vic. Like you said, Oliver Dagenhart to lead things off for the Chinooks. Home plate umpire calls time. Talking to the Bucs coaches about something, and I think he wants.
I think that's Rubbery there. He has to return to the dugout. Just coaches are supposed to be out there, I assume.
I'm not sure. Don't think that's visible to you guys watching, but some Bucs like to sit just outside the dugout. Home plate umpire wanted them inside for safety reasons, I'm sure. So now we are underway. First pitch from Carlone finds the zone to Dagenhart. Dagenhart not in the lineup on June 7th, you were saying?
I think that it was more of a demand to get Rummery back in the dugout. It didn't look like the home plate umpire was liking that too much, even though that Springman was quick to get him back in the dugout. I'm assuming because he was out there that the coaches wanted to talk to him about something. I don't think they've just let him sit out there.
Whatever it is, he's inside the dugout now. That one misses high, 2-1. Carlone listed at 6'5", 220 out of Tempe, Arizona. All Arizona State battery between Carlone and Brody Briggs. Bounce to third. Callahan gets it off the high hop. Close play at first, but they got him. That hop bouncing in the air and hanging up there for a little bit of time gave Dagenhart a chance to beat it out at first, but Callahan with a strong throw over to Eisenstadt for the first out, and now Louis Zulaika comes to the plate. Was 0 for 2 against Carlone back on the 7th. Flew out to center and grounded out to third. Just missing the outside corner that time.
And even though those 6 strikeouts in just 4 innings, you can see Carlone, he's not gonna fish for strikeouts. He's gonna get a ground ball when he wants to, just like he did just there. So expect the balls to be put into play. He's not looking to kind of tiptoe around these guys and find a strikeout.
One and one the count to Zulaika. One away here in the top of the first. Bucs looking to get back to winning ways after losing that 5-game win streak against the Glacier Pilots. A strike there from Carlone makes it 1 and 2.
Coach Tim Cole over there on the third base line is one of a couple of coaches we've seen head coaches be on the third base line. We know that head coach Rich Price for the Pilots is also their third base coach.
Check swing, did he go? No, says the first base umpire. Not a bad pitch either from Carlone, just missing on that outside corner. Almost got Zulaika to come around, but instead it'll be 2 and 2.
Great pitch. A good miss, too. Just a hair off the plate, but he almost got that swing and miss.
So now the 2-2. Hit hard out to third, diving stop by Callahan. Gets up, and the peg is going to be off the first base bag, taking Eisenstadt away. Good job that time by Zane Kelly backing things up, but I think that one will probably have to be scored an error on the third baseman.
Yeah, and he got to that ball pretty quickly, and I think that was, in terms of having the error, that was his downfall because he had so much time to plant his feet. I think he just rushed the throw. So, yeah, I have to go with an E5 on that one.
So man aboard with one away for Jordan Joffe. Struck out looking and singled against Carlone in the first matchup between these two squads. The Bucs winning that one 1-0. Fouls off the first pitch, and like we mentioned, that run coming off a ground ball double play. So not a ton of offense in that one, but then 27 hits between these two clubs in the second league game before the Chinooks went hitless in the non-league matchup just this past Sunday. Runner goes. Pitch misses. Throw down to second. They got him. Late call by the umpire, but they got him. Pitch was called a ball. Good throw down there by Briggs. A little bit of an awkward slide by Zuleika. Late call from the umpire over there covering second base, but gets the job done.
Yeah, and the thing was, Briggs got him by a mile and actually gave the middle infield time to catch the ball and position themselves in the right place. So, wow, what a play. What a throw by Briggs. I've seen that a couple times.
So now 2 away as that one misses outside to Joffe. Joffe and the man on deck, Jacob Hayes, the only 2 hits for these Chinooks off of Carlone back on the 7th. Tipped into the mid of Briggs. So now 2-2 with Carlone looking to face the minimum in the top of the first inning. Tipped into the mid, strike 3. So the air from Callahan does not bite the Bucs. They'll come to the plate looking to take the lead in the bottom of the first when we come back. Bottom of the first inning at Mulcahy Stadium. Carlone pitching a scoreless top half. So now Bo Brantingham takes the mound. We mentioned how effective he was against this Bucs lineup. Just the 1 run across 7 innings. Brantingham out of St. Louis, Missouri. Played basketball and soccer at John Burroughs High School over there. As a freshman at Air Force this year, a 5.12 ERA in 19 and a third. And we mentioned it on that broadcast. A ton of members of his family going to Service Academy, so shouldn't be the biggest surprise that he plays his ball at Air Force. And another fun fact about Brantingham, he's related to Ingle Martin, who was a Packers quarterback in 2006. Very little playing time, but did get some stats on the scorebook. 2 rushes for -5 yards, but still related to an NFL quarterback of a storied franchise. But for Brantingham, he'll be looking to do more of the same on the diamond as he did back on the 7th, really shutting down those Bucs bats.
Yeah, and if I saw correctly during the warm-up tosses, looks like he might have a slider and a curveball. So 2 different spinners for these Bucs hitters to look out for. Not completely sure, but I did see one of the breaking balls look really good. Had a lot of vertical movement as well as some horizontals too. So we'll see how these Bucs hitters react to it. See if he can get these bats back up.
Josh Hankins takes a ball inside. Hankins and Kelly, the first 2 batters for the Bucs today, did not face off against Brantingham in that first matchup. So their first look at the righty. Squares to bunt, but pulls it away. 6'3", 215 is Brantingham. 2 tall pitchers today on the mound in this matchup. This time, Brantingham finds the zone for his first strike of the game. 2-1 now to the Bucs second baseman, who's been playing a lot more lately
Mm-hmm.
in the lineup more often. 3-1 we've mentioned. It can be a tough infield to get into with all the talent on this Bucs roster.
Yeah, exactly. Even with guys like with Christian Powell, yeah, he's not swinging the bat that good, but his infield skills are really good. And he's a really good player over there.
He loses the leadoff hitter, so leadoff walk for the Bucs gets things going here against the Chinooks. It'll be Zane Kelly up next with a runner aboard.
And we've seen these walks pile up for these Bucs hitters. They've just done a really good job.
Zane Kelly, the lefty. A lot of lefties in this Bucs lineup. Small lead from Hankins over there at first. Pitches outside. Brantingham struggling with his command a little bit early on.
Yeah, not like we saw. Just gave up that one walk in 7 innings. And considering how this league has gone and how the games have gone for the Bucs, that is just super surprising. These hitters are very disciplined. Just to draw one walk is very impressive.
Breaking ball finds the zone, even things up. After Kelly, it'll be Eisenstadt for the Bucs. Hopefully he comes up with a runner in scoring position. 1-1 misses low.
And this is another guy, Zane Kelly, really disciplined at the plate. Probably would have a lot more hits if he didn't walk as much. That's the thing.
Yeah, I'd say that about a lot of Bucs hitters. 2-1 is inside. 43 walks for the Bucs on the year in the documented games. That's 6 games. Their opponents just 24. We see similarly disciplined splits in the strikeout department. 22 for the Bucs, 48 for their opponents. So just an amazing job of reaching via walk and putting the ball in play. Another 5-pitch walk. So that's how the game starts for Brantingham. 2 5-pitch walks in a row. It has Hankins at second and Kelly at first, and it's already a pretty big spot in this game. Tommy Eisenstadt comes to the plate.
Yeah, we've seen Carlone in the 3-hole a little bit. Mostly, or we've seen Zane Kelly. It's mostly been Zane in the 2-hole. We've seen Carlone, and then Eisenstadt will bat 4, Burns 5. Mixed it up a good bit. So we've seen guys at every part of the lineup. But this is a good order here. Obviously, we'd want Carlone to bat, but he is pitching today.
It is the downside. Great arm, but
you
obviously miss having that bat in there.
You still have got guys like Tommy and Will who are really good hitters in that meat of the order. We've seen Callahan a little bit more as of recent. He's had a couple hits, but we'd like to see him get going too.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's the 7th walk for Zane Kelly that we have this year. That is the leader, I believe, for the Bucs, if not right up there.
Nope, you got it right. Leading the Bucs with 7 walks, no strikeouts. Incredible stuff from Kelly in the discipline department, and batting 5 for 10 in doing so. Includes a home run. Now Eisenstadt comes up. Dagenhart and Zulaika squeezing towards second base, looking to turn 2. Jaffe in on the grass at first, and Broughton the same at third. Good pitch that time from Brantingham, finds the outside corner.
Yep, exactly what you want to come back with after the meeting at the mound. Painting those corners, don't want to leave anything over the plate. Just because you walk 2 guys doesn't mean you could throw it right down the middle and not expect these guys to lay off of it.
That takes this one inside.
Yeah, and I think for Brantingham, you just have to be careful because the Bucs know you. They know that you went 7 innings, gave up 1 run, had 5 hits, and they know that you're a pitcher who knows how to pitch in the zone. So if they see one they like, they're going to swing on it. They're not going to put their bats on their shoulders.
That one's inside, and if you're Brantingham, you know that this is a disciplined team at the plate, taking 15 walks in the last league matchup, even though he wasn't on the mound. Surely saw what went down en route to the Bucs scoring 12 runs. So you're going to have to find the strike zone to get these guys out. They're not going to get themselves out. Eisenstadt couldn't pull the trigger on that one. 2-2.
And a good backdoor breaking ball. That's a tough pitch to hit, even though it looked pretty nice in the middle of the zone there. You got a guy that's not has his best command today, so just lay off of it. Maybe find a fastball you like to hit right here.
2-2, bounced foul down the first base line. We'll do it again. Will Burns waits on deck for the Bucs. Couple guys on to get things going in the home half of the first. Looking to strike first.
And I like that he fouled off that breaking ball again. Looks like he wants to see a fastball thrown from Brantingham. I think he might see one with the command off on the breaking ball.
This one hit the other way. Foul once again. Looked like that might have been the heater.
Definitely was a heater. Try to go outside with it. If your Eisenstadt not bad, you got 2 strikes on you, might as well. You're seeing fastball, just any piece of lumber you can get on it, fouled away.
Good job staying alive. Now the 7th pitch of the at-bat coming from Brantingham. This one's hit out to right center. Whose ball will it be? It'll be the center fielder, Jaden Hill. Tagging from second is Hankins. He's on his way to third. Close play over there. He's in safely. Great throw from Jaden Hill out in center, but Hankins able to get over to third base with that speed, and now a run 90 feet away for the Bucs.
Yep. Really good job by Hankins over there. He's off and running immediately.
Zane Kelly stayed put over at first, so runners on the corners with one away for Will Burns as Tim Reynolds gives some signs to his infield.
Eisenstadt just doing his job there. Didn't have to hit it super hard, but got the ball up in the air. Was able to move the runner over.
Breaking ball stays inside. Burns singled in his only plate appearance against Brantingham. Oh, excuse me. I have that mixed up. Burns singled and walked, also grounded out against Brantingham. Brantingham finds the outside corner.
Yeah, it looks like a close call, but a really good pitch by Brantingham. For Burns and all these Bucs hitters, you want to live on the corners. Just can't throw anything down the middle.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out with runners on the corners for the Bucs, trying to bounce back after a slow day at the plate on Tuesday. This one in on the hands, fouled off by Burns.
Yeah, that one almost hit him, it looked like.
The breaking ball started at his hip, came in, don't think it ever made it over the plate, but just fouling it off the hands was Burns. So 1-2 the count now. Trying to bring Hankins in from third. Stays high.
And a good job staying in on that breaking ball. A lot of times you'll see spinners that look like they're about to hit you and they fall right in the zone. And if Burns got one of those, that ball would have been hit way away. So good job staying in. Every now and again you'll get a perfect beauty of a breaking ball just like that.
Runner goes, check swing, throw down to second, and now here comes Hankins from third. He's going to score. Little first and third trickery from the Bucs. Kelly takes second, Hankins comes home, and the Bucs are on the board.
Yeah, great play. Good recognition. That throw looked like it was supposed to go to short, but it ended up going behind him.
Yeah, not sure how the Chinooks were looking to play that. Looked a little bit confused defensively. Obviously, a situation we've talked about that can be tough with these teams not having played together for super long. Now full count. Burns fouls it off. And good to see the Bucs striking early after on Tuesday scoring a couple of runs, but both of them coming super late in the 8th inning and not really getting anything done before that.
Yep, now you got first inning, first run on the board. It's a perfect way to start.
Still a runner in scoring position with 2 outs as Kelly took with 1 out, as Kelly took second. Bucs would love to add another. This one's low, and Burns will take his base. So 3 walks already for Brantingham, and like you mentioned, not a huge problem for him against the Bucs the first time around. Just the 1 walk across 7 innings, and now with just 1 out in the first, he already has 3.
Yeah, just the lack of command. He's just trying to pitch around these Bucs batters, and I guess if you get towards the bottom of the order, you see guys that don't have as many hits as the guys at the top, but still, everyone's dangerous on this Bucs team. And not just that, everyone has the ability and has a good eye and discipline at the plate. So I think that's where you also go wrong.
Runner goes for third, pitches inside. There won't be a throw to third, but here it comes to second, and they got Burns. Burns with a delayed steal following Kelly, and after Reynolds decided not to go to third, he got Burns out at second pretty easily.
Yeah, no doubt about it there. I could see Burns why he wanted to go, just if that throw went down to third, but a pitch was so inside, so there was no chance to get Zane Kelly over there.
So now 2 away for Callahan. Started playing more and more often, takes a strike. You wonder if Burns had gone a little bit sooner following Kelly, if maybe he would have been safe at second, with Reynolds unable to make the throw to third just because of where the pitch was located. 2-1 now.
I love Zane just speedy on the base pass, mixing things up, making it harder for Brantingham to focus on the batter.
Stands at third now. Great pitch that time. Not sure Callahan loved the call, though.
Yeah, and a really good breaking ball there. Just went back door.
Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the home half of the first here at Mulcahy Stadium. Bucs scoring on a double steal. Check swing. Did he go? No, says the third base umpire, so the count runs full.
Yeah, another long at bat. If you're the Bucs, even if you just get that one run, you did a good job of making Brantingham throw a lot of pitches here.
Yep, pitch count up to 29. Pitch counts update after each batter, so 24 before Callahan. Now he'll see his 6th pitch of the sequence. Swings at it and pokes it into left field. That's going to get down for an RBI base hit. Takes a turn around first, but he'll come back. But it's an RBI single for Ryan Callahan. Didn't hit it particularly hard, but was able to find the spot well. And the Bucs now have 2 in the bottom of the first.
Yep, just off the fist, but a really good job. And Callahan, an RBI, and just a great at bat too. Got to 3-2. He's just able to poke that one out in the left field, opposite field.
So now Andrew Lamb comes to the plate with Callahan at first and already 2 across for the Bucs. Pitch is high. Lamb can reach. It'll be Adam Enyart, our 6th batter to the plate for the Bucs so far. Just the 1 hit, 3 walks from Brantingham helping these Bucs, and that's kind of similar of what we saw when these teams played last in league play. Runner goes, pitches outside, and he's in there safely. Bucs picking some good pitches to run on.
Yeah, they really are. I love that they're just playing small ball and getting guys moving on the base pass. That's the biggest thing.
Bucs have not been afraid to try to take bases all season long, really. And another runner in scoring position as the Bucs look to make it 3 with Lamb at the plate. Brantingham way behind 3-0, in danger of walking his 4th buck this inning. Not something we expected coming in.
Not at all. I mean, he looked really good against the Bucs, and I don't know if the Bucs just really wanted to hit today, but it's not even that. He's just kind of losing command. Bucs have just gotten gifts.
3-0 finds the zone.
And it's really weird because he's not really throwing any cookies down the middle. Everything that he comes back with after getting down the count is on the corners. He's living right there. Hasn't started out with many pitches in the zone, but the ones that he has have been really good pitches, just struggling to stay consistent.
Maybe trying to be a little bit too perfect out there. 3-1's fouled away, so the count runs full, and Brantingham's a strike away from getting out of it, but a little bit of damage already done for the Bucs. 2 runs in the bottom of the first, equaling the total from that loss on Tuesday. Good to get some runs on the board early. Not a ton of hits, just the 1, but haven't needed to with Brantingham's lack of control.
And if you're Lamb, this might be a point in time where Brantingham lets one go that might be more middle, trying to get that strikeout. Certainly doesn't want to walk another player.
Definitely not. 3-2 pitch, fouled away again, and that's now 36 pitches for Brantingham, and we saw him go 7 innings when he faced off against the Bucs the first time around, and because of this patience at the plate from the Bucs, almost a sure thing that he won't be able to go that far off this first inning alone. Andrew Lamb trying to continue to move the line for the Bucs. Payoff pitch. Stays outside for ball 4. 4th walk of the inning for Brantingham. 2 aboard now for Adam Enyart.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Cole over there for the Chinooks, and unfortunate, but you might have to start thinking about getting someone up in the bullpen just in case. I know it's just 2 runs, but going later into the game, you just kind of don't really know how his command is going to come back to him, if it can come back to him, if this is just a bad inning. Never know.
Enyart digs in. Both runners go. This one hit up the middle and fielded by Zulaika, who will step on second for the force out. But the Bucs do score two, in large part due to 4 walks from Branningham. They lead it after 1. Two nothing. The Bucs lead it after 1 inning. Carlone back out on the bump with a lead to work with. They'll face 4, 5, and 6 after facing the minimum in the top half of the first. Jacob Hayes, the designated hitter for the Chinooks, will be the first one to the plate. And the righty takes a strike. After Hayes, it'll be Tim Reynolds and then Jaden Hill for the Chinooks. Carlone a long rest, but he'll take it if it means a 2-run lead for his Bucs.
Oh yeah, we'll certainly take it. No doubt about that. Especially with how hard runs have been to come by as of late. We'll certainly take a 2-run lead going into the second.
2-1 the count to Hayes now.
Great throw by Briggs last inning to get Zulaika out at second base. Had him by a mile, too.
This one hit hard out to center. Ross going to have to run over to his right, but gets there in time for the first out. Was shaded towards right center, so had a bit of a ways to go out to left, but able to make it happen.
And he got pretty lucky because he took a weird route, almost came in. We were talking about earlier, he did a good job there of freezing, but initially took a weird route to it, went straight at the ball, went straight to his right, I believe, and then kind of broke back to get it as it was tailing behind him.
Now the catcher, Tim Reynolds, takes a strike from Carlone.
Oftentimes you'll see guys first step back, and in this league, first step back might really get you because that ball's dying. On that one, that ball was carrying out to the outfield.
0-1 misses outside, and we talked to Max Ross about that exactly.
Mm-hmm.
We were saying, oh, you're always told to step back first, right? And he said, yes, but not here. Here in Alaska, off the bat, if you think it's hit right at you, just freeze. As that one misses outside. Ross now shaded a little bit towards right center. All other fielders pretty straight up. For the righty, Tim Reynolds, who's ahead 2-1. Now 3-1 as that one was inside.
I think like first fly ball out there, it's always tough, even though that Ross has played a ton of games in center field and a good bit here this summer. It's still tough to track it. First hit to you on center.
Leadoff walk, or not a leadoff walk, excuse me. Second batter walks for the Chinooks in the second. Tim Reynolds over at first now for Jaden Hill.
Man, not something you really expect here early on. One walk from Carlone in those 4 innings pitched. Had really good command. And just hopefully he can get a ground ball here, then he can face the minimum again.
Jaden Hill grounded into a double play off of Carlone back on the 7th, so despite his speed, definitely a candidate. lines this one foul down the right field line. His other out also a ground out. So Carlone able to get Hill to hit it softly on the ground in the infield a couple of times in the first matchup. Looking for more of the same here, like you said, to face the minimum yet again. Up and in.
And for Carlone here, just try to get that ball on the ground. Struck out one last inning. You don't need a strikeout here.
1-1 bounced foul. Jaden Hill just 17 at-bats at Arkansas State this year, so he'll look to get things going this summer. Transferred there from Vernon College, where he hit .315 across 2 years. So the good hitting is definitely in him. One-two, bounced down the third base line, just foul. That was pretty close over there.
Yeah, sure was close. Bounced fair a couple times, or maybe just once, and then hit over the bag. And I think Tim Cole is just a little bit frustrated that one couldn't stay fair, but just really close and a tough break for the Chinooks.
Count remains 1-2. Just a bit outside from Carlone. Looking to get that outside corner on Hill, but he wouldn't budge, nor would the home plate umpire. Count now even at 2-2. Tim Reynolds at first base. Broughton waiting on deck for the Chinooks. Now count runs full.
Yeah, the meat of the order is pretty tough for the Chinooks. Jaden Hill had some good hits against the Bucs in their second meeting with each other. Jordan Joffe, of course, struck out last inning. But tough batters to face here.
Just a bit outside. I think Carlone and the entire Bucs dugout wanted that one, but not able to get the call. So another walk for Carlone, second of the inning. And now Broughton comes to the plate.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to see his walks pile up.
None of those misses too bad, though.
No,
a couple up and in, but the two on the outside were definitely close pitches, so it wouldn't make you think that he's losing command or anything like that, but definitely want to make these guys put it in play, especially after the no-hitter on Sunday where they showed an inability to reach base via hit for 7 innings. Really trying to find the outside corner, but just can't seem to find the spot.
Yeah, just trying to tiptoe around him a little bit. Maybe just pound the zone here. Let him put it into play. You got a 2-run lead. I know you got 2 runners to work with, but you're starting to get towards the bottom of the lineup. You want these guys to earn it.
Fouled off by Broughton, who was 0 for 2 against Carlone the first time around. 2 strikeouts, 1 swinging and 1 looking. Carlone gotten himself into a little bit of problems here with a couple guys on. Looking to keep that lead at 2 runs for the Bucs. 1-1 breaking ball finds the zone.
Yeah, and a good get-back pitch. That was really good on the inner half. See if he goes back to the breaking ball for swing and miss. I think a huge statement would be to get a big swing and miss right here, not try to throw something off the plate.
Here comes the 1-2. Grounded down the third base line. Diving stop by Callahan. Steps on third, and that's all he'll get. But a great stop by Callahan and a great job to get over to third base in time to get Reynolds.
Yeah, great job by Callahan. That's another play where he was diving, and that one he just steps on third. Did exactly what the only thing he could have done. No play at first base. Just gets up, tags that bag.
Seen a couple of diving stops from Callahan over on the hot corner so far. So now 2 away in the top of the second. Hill at second, Broughton at first, and Brady Groves, the batter for the Chinooks. Only faced Carlone once in that last meeting. Struck out looking. A little bit upstairs. Want to know to the Chinooks left fielder. Hit high down the right field line. That'll go out of play.
Ball is brought to you by ABC Alaska.
Carlone looking to get out of this after the 2 walks. 1-1. That one's way up high. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. Foul back. Deuce is wild here in the second inning. 2 men on, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the top of the second. Carlone looking to keep that 2-run lead for the Bucs. Here comes. Pitch misses, throw down to second. And over the head of the second baseman, Hankins. Hill's going to make the turn, but then retreat back to third. But not often we've seen a bad throw from Briggs. That one getting away from him, though.
Yeah, just couldn't hold on to that one. Or hold on to that one a little too long. But yeah, we haven't seen many bad throws at all.
So Hill with the stolen base. And then Broughton advancing to second. Or, excuse me, no stolen bases. Both runners advancing on the throw from Brody Briggs, but it's all for naught as Grove strikes out swing to end the top of the second. So after 1.5, it's still 2-0 Bucs. Bottom half of the second inning here at Mulcahy Stadium. Bucs still lead it 2-0. Couple runners getting on for the Chinooks in the top of the second, but nothing doing. Couple of walks, an error from Brody Briggs moving them over, but Carlone able to get things back under control with a swinging strikeout of Brady Groves, and now the aforementioned Brody Briggs comes to the plate. Briggs hitless against Brantingham first time around. We'll look to change that. Watches this one outside. A whopping 38 pitches for Brantingham in the first inning, and that one finds the zone. But for Carlone, it's been 39 pitches across 2 innings, and Brantingham now up to 40 with no outs in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, in this inning, he's just really got to find his command if he wants to stay in this game a long time.
Briggs swings at this one, hits it way up in the air to shallow left field. Groves comes in and makes the play.
And there's a good start for him. Quick, easy out in the bottom half of the order, but Max Ross is a leadoff guy at heart. He's led off a lot for the Bucs. Seen him bat in the 3-hole a little bit too as well. But you talked about that second leadoff spot. Yeah. Powell has done it a couple times where he's led off, and he's batted 9 before. Obviously not at the same time, but in different games.
Allen finds the outside corner, a little shake of the head and disapproval from Max Ross, and would love to get Ross's speed on the base paths for the top of the order to get him running around. 0-1 inside. I don't think he liked that one either, probably thinking to himself, I understand giving him one, but giving him both, not a big fan. So Ross going to have to battle here now, way behind 0-2.
Yeah, it didn't really help that he's kind of hovering over the plate, so his inside pitches look way more inside than usual.
Fights this one off down the third base line. Groves gives chase, but it's going to run out of room. That one into the Bucs bullpen.
Well, I like how Ross, he's close to the plate, and that last strike didn't really back him off too much. And now, if you're Ross, if he goes back in on that inner half, you just be ready to grip and rip, because you know you got to swing a little bit earlier on the inner half pitches.
Still 0-2 to the center fielder. Watches this one upstairs. After Ross, it'll be the top of the order for the Bucs. They lead it 2-0. Similarities to the second matchup between these two teams with a couple of runs without necessarily a bunch of hits as that one bounces. Already seen a good number of walks by both pitchers, a couple of errors for the Bucs, and we saw not the cleanest of games from either team back in that second matchup. Now 2-2, ripped on the right side and through for a base hit. Great job by Max Ross. Fell behind 0-2, worked it back, and then able to get one through for a single.
Yep, great base hit there. Pulls those hands in and just pulls it into right field. A really good job by Ross, seeing the ball pretty well. And like you said, speed on the base pass now for the top of the order. It's huge.
Definitely speed for the Bucs center fielder.
And Ross has done a good job of pulling that ball to the right side, getting his hands in, keeping them on the inside, and just driving it right to the baseball.
Way up and into Hankins. Hankins already to the plate for the second time. Walked and scored on that double steal with Zane Kelly just last inning. Long pause. Now the 1-0, and it looked like it might have got the knob of the bat, huh?
Yeah, I guess. I didn't really hear anything, actually. I didn't hear like a thud from his fingers. I didn't really hear it from the knob of his bat either. It looked like he immediately looked over at the umpire, and
I think real argument.
Yeah, I think when the umpire was saying immediately put the hands up for foul ball, there was kind of no contest. I guess he could tell that the umpire saw that hit off the knob, so he's not sneaking anything by him there.
So the count's 1-1 with Max Ross over at first. 1 for 2, at least in the system, on stolen base attempts. They'll check on him. Hankins at the plate with Zane Kelly waiting on deck. Both of them walked to get things going in the first inning. That one way upstairs, throw back over to first, and Ross in safely. Top two guys for the Bucs responsible for the 2 runs on the board, at least in the scoring department. Fifth place hitter Ryan Callahan picking up the lone RBI of the inning. 2-1. Took a little something off of it, able to find the zone.
Really good pitch, and even for Brantingham giving up that single, at least he's challenging these guys a little bit more. That one probably too far over the middle of the plate. But we saw last inning with his struggles, it seemed like every strike he was throwing was on the corner, and it looked like a really good pitch, but he was just struggling to find it and stay consistent.
2-2 bounced foul by Hankins. Looked like that one might have been in off the plate, but Hankins swings away and gets some wood on it to stay alive. Continuing to work up that pitch count for Brantingham. 26 balls and 26 strikes. Like we mentioned, went 7 innings when these two teams first played. Not going to be in the cards tonight. Comes at 2-2. Bounce softly down to Zulaika. He underhand tosses to first, but Hankins able to move Ross over. And now with 2 away, a runner in scoring position for the Bucs.
Yep, great job. Did your job there. Just move the runner over into scoring position. Still got the top guys up in the lineup. Zane Kelly is perfect for this opportunity right now.
Like we've mentioned, Kelly an extremely productive hitter for the Bucs, whether that's actually getting a hit or being patient and taking a walk, something that Brantingham's been prone to so far today. Couple looks at Ross over there at second. Swinging at the first pitch and bounced right at the first baseman, Jaffe. He'll take it himself. So Brantingham, after 2 runs in the first, a scoreless bottom of the second for the Bucs. It's 2-0 as we head to the third. third inning here in Anchorage. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Chinooks. Bucks leading it 2-0. Carlone still on the mound for his third inning of work. Facing off against Kwapnoski for the first time this season in league play. Kwapnoski swings at the first pitch, bounces it foul off his foot.
We've seen Kwapnoski pitch as well. A lot of guys in this Chinooks team, infielders also pitch too.
0-1's in the dirt. We've seen it from the Bucs. We've seen it from the Chinooks. A bunch of players looking to go two-way this summer. What a weapon it is to have guys like that. 1-1's high.
And especially in these 7-game stretches like that, you'd love to have guys that go out there and, take some relief innings for guys that are mainly focusing on pitching.
Big swing and a miss that time from Kwapnoski. Even count now. That one misses low. 3-2 now the count, with the leadoff hitter Oliver Dagenhart waiting on deck.
And for Carlone, for the leadoff guy, just really want to get this first out after 2 walks last inning.
Got him looking. Strike 3 called. Third strikeout of the day for Carlone. Gets Kwapnoski on the looking variety. And now Dagenhart, after hitting a home run yesterday, comes up to bat with the bases empty just the way you want it.
Exactly. Bases empty, 1 down. You're feeling yourself after a strikeout right there. Placed it perfectly. And yeah, obviously you'd rather have a swinging strikeout, but that's the perfect alternative, is to have a looking strikeout right on the black. It's almost too good to hit, but not right down the middle.
That one misses. Dagenhart grounded out to Ryan Callahan over at third base in the first inning. Callahan been pretty busy over there so far on the hot corner. 1-0 bounced that way. Callahan dives for it but comes up empty and then under the glove of Will Burns, so it'll be a 1-out single for Oliver Dagenhart.
Yeah, tough play. Callahan gave it all he had, and I was going to say before, I was like, maybe Callahan should take a couple steps to the line. I guess I'm glad I didn't say that. Not that he would have listened to me anyways, but because those last couple of, he's had a lot of balls out there where he's had to dive towards the line, so I think that he'd want to be closer, but there, pretty good positioning, just a better put base hit by Dagenhart.
So now another guy who hit it over to Callahan in the first. Reaching via error was Zulaika. Big cut and a miss this time, though.
Yeah, and a great play to stop the ball by Callahan. Was able to dive almost slow motion, which was good because he had time to see where that ball was going to skip up. And he's able to almost fall on it and time it perfectly with the skip and got up perfect, but just the throw was wide. I think he rushed it a little bit.
Pitch finds the outside corner. Zulaika was caught stealing after reaching on the error. Good throw by Brody Briggs. Carlone had 0-2 with Zulaika at the plate. Dagenhart at first. Lefty brings it. Bounce softly back up to Carlone. Gloves it. Flips it to first for the sure out. Definitely a smart play that time from Carlone.
Yeah, super smart play. Just had one, and the ball was hit in a way it was leading him to first base,
Yep.
So it just probably would have gone haywire if he tried to go to second.
Now Jordan Jaffe to the plate. Last hope for the Chinooks in the top of the second. Carlone steps off. Couple looks over there at second. First pitch is hit foul.
Got to be careful how you pitch Jaffe. He's been their mainstay in that 3-hole. He's looked really good this year. So definitely don't want to give him anything too good to hit.
Oh, and 1 to Jaffe. Check swing. He definitely went around, though, that time.
Sure did. There's no stopping that swing.
Good pitch that time from Carlone. And once again, way ahead 0-2 with 2 away. Looking to leave Dagenhart stranded over at second. Tipped and just out of the mitt of Brody Briggs, it seems. Not sure if that one bounced off the dirt in front of him or if he did have a chance to secure it for the third strike, but unable to make it happen. Jaffe lives to see another pitch. Jaffe, the first baseman, the designated hitter Hayes waiting on deck. Carlone would love to see him to start the fourth. And thought he had it that time, was headed towards the Bucs dugout, but unable to get the call from the home plate umpire.
A beautiful breaking ball by Carlone on the bottom half of the zone. If anything, maybe Briggs just didn't frame it that well. Kind of an awkward catch when he was trying to get it down on the lower half of the zone, but a really good pitch by Carlone.
Up and away. Deuces wild. Top of the third inning. Degenhart standing at second base. Bucs looking to keep the Chinooks scoreless, and Carlone trying to do that at the hands of Jaffe. Finds the outside corner. Another looking strikeout for Carlone. Does leave Degenhart stranded. So after 2.5, it's still 2-0. Bucs lead it.
In the top half of the third, number
Back for the home half of the third inning. Degenhart with that single, and by my count, that's the first hit for the Chinooks against this Bucs staff in an 11 1/3 innings of league play. Counting so far today, or I guess not league play, total play, counting so far today, plus the 7 innings on Sunday, and then going back to that 12-7 game. This one hit hard out to right. Retreating quickly is Kwapnoski, and that's going to be over his head and off the wall. Eisenstadt over to second. It's a leadoff stand-up double for Eisenstadt and the Bucs.
That one was rocketed, and that was another one where he hit that so hard that ball was hit pretty high, but like I said, he hit it so hard that it didn't matter. That ball was going to the wall no matter what, and just a super hard hit ball from Eisenstadt. We've seen him take swings and hit it towards left center field, but they've been well short of that, just not because of the power. It's because he's getting that ball up in the air just a little too much, and not even saying that he's getting under it too much. It's just that altitude here, and he was able to fight it.
So now Will Burns, great pitch that time from Branningham, going in the front door with the breaker, and for Eisenstadt, that part of the park somewhere around probably 365. It's 345 to straight right field, and then about 385 to the gap. So somewhere around 360, 365 or so. That one's outside.
That's deep, Will. 385, even 370 is deep out there. It's almost to a point where you hit it to a certain point, and it's going to get down no matter what. No outfielder, maybe unless they're Mookie Betts out there in center, is going to be able to track down that ball, and that's exactly what happened. No chance for Kwapnoski. No chance for Jaden Hill.
1-1's up and away, and looks like Kwapnoski's playing a little bit deeper now than he was on that pitch. Maybe having that ball go over his head, making him rethink things a little bit defensively. We've seen fielders play pretty shallowly throughout the season here and at other parks because of that low altitude that you mentioned. 2-1's outside, now 3-1 to Burns. Ryan Callahan waiting on deck.
Love to get a couple base runners on here. No outs.
Granting him a couple looks over there at Eisenstadt, now brings the 3-1 and just fouled off by Burns, now 3-2. Man on deck with the lone RBI for the Bucs so far. Other run coming on a double steal. That's Ryan Callahan, the third baseman. But first, Burns looking to have an impact. Get on or at least move Eisenstadt over to third base. Here comes the 3-2. Check swing, dribbled down the first base line. Going to be gloved in fair territory by Jaffe. He steps on first, but Burns does do the job of moving Eisenstadt over to third base with just one away now.
Yep, certainly did your job. Obviously not the best swing, and if he could have it back, he probably would. But a great play at first by Jaffe. He at a certain point he knew that that ball would not have gone foul, and he was going to take the for sure out instead of dribbling along the line and seeing if Burns could beat it out.
So infield comes in now for Callahan, increasing that area where he got his RBI single, just poking it into shallow left field. Pitch is high with Eisenstadt over at third, and Callahan, if not dumping one in for a single, would love to at least get this ball up in the air to the outfield, give Eisenstadt a chance to tag from third. Bucs looking for their third run of the game, leading it 2-0. 1-0, hit out to right. That's going to get down for a base hit. Cut off by Kwapnoski, so Callahan will stay at first, but Eisenstadt scores on the single. It's the second RBI single for Callahan today.
Mr. Ryan Callahan, have yourself a day so far in just 3 innings. 2 base hits, 2 RBIs. Can't ask for much more from a guy that has recently played a lot, but his first games where he's played a lot have been in non-league games, so nothing to show for it. But here, in a real league game, he's played really well and could definitely be a mainstay at third base if he keeps hitting like this.
Pitch misses low to Andrew Lamb.
Still just 1 out, and it was a productive out, Will. Got the runner over. That ball was hit pretty softly into right field, but even though it was hit softly, it's pretty shallow. I don't know if Eisenstadt's scoring there if he's at second base.
Definitely would have been a close play, but luckily the Bucs didn't have to worry about that. 1-0 cut on and missed from Lamb.
That's why every at-bat is just super important. That Will Burns at-bat, making it super easy for Eisenstadt to score.
And that's why it's so key that these Bucs really don't strike out.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
putting the ball in play, so even when they're making outs, if they're not productive, they're at least giving themselves a chance at making them productive. You swing and miss, that's not the case. So we're back to first, nothing doing with Callahan over there.
And Burns was ahead in the count, had it 3 balls, 1 strike, and battling back was Brantingham, and Burns just put into play. And of course, it was just an excuse me swing, but if it wasn't, it would have been another foul ball and could have put another ball in play, maybe a base hit. So, like we said, just doing his job any way he can.
1-1 hit right at the first baseman, Jaffe. First he goes to second, and then the shortstop, Dagenhart, makes the throw to first. A little 3-6-3 double play turned by Jaffe, but the Bucs do add one on in the bottom of the third thanks to an RBI single from Ryan Callahan. Through 3, it's 3-0 Bucs. back at Mulcahy Stadium. Carlone on the bump for the fourth inning with the Bucs now leading 3-0. Here for the play-by-play, here's Vic Maslia.
Thank you, Will. Carlone, like you said, back out there on the hill for his fourth inning. His last start, June 7th, last league start, went 4 innings as well. Could see him go 5 innings, especially with how he's pitching so far, and a big swing and a miss from the batter, Jacob Hayes. He's flown out to center field. He's their designated hitter. That was back in the second inning to lead it off. So back-to-back at-bats where he leads it off for the Chinooks. The pitch by Carlone misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And if I remember correctly, hit that ball pretty well out to left center, and Ross had to range pretty far to his right to make that play. But a good piece of hitting from Hayes.
Next one, swung on and missed. Looks really ahead of that breaking ball.
And if you're Carlone, why not just go right back to it? Maybe
Exactly.
bury one if he's having trouble recognizing it.
Yeah, or you don't want anything to speed up his bat. Certainly. 1-2. Called strike 3 on the outer half. Looks like he took a little bit of something off of that. Maybe a change up there. Not sure about his arsenal for sure. But definitely wasn't a spinner. I'm going to have to go with some sort of change up, maybe a cutter. Something on the outer half of plate. Could be a slower 2-seam, but a really good pitch.
Now 5 strikeouts for Carlone, 3 of them of the looking variety, and it's kind of like what we saw on Friday from him. 4 strikeouts, 3 looking.
So Tim Reynolds, who drew the first walk, gets a called strike on him. That was back in the second inning. That's where Carlone, the only inning where he's really struggled, gave up 2 walks after a fly ball out. And that one bounces towards the plate about 2 feet in front of the plate, and looks like he just lost control of that breaking ball. So Carlone back on the hill. 1 ball, 1 strike to Reynolds. After him will be Jaden Hill. Next one, a big swing and a miss, and that fastball looks electric. And I have to say, after that called strike 3 on Jacob Hayes, it definitely was something something off speed. Definitely didn't look as fast as that last pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That one bounces again, and bounced up and down on the mound. I'm not sure if something's bothering him. Doesn't look like he's
I think
whiffing.
he's just frustrated with the pitch, in all honesty, and it's weird because he's had such good command, but then we've just seen a couple that just hasn't found the right release point on.
Maybe that confuses the batter here on a 2-2 pitch, and it does. Swung on and missed. Went back to the outer half, and a beautiful pitch by Carlone. And like I said, you threw 2 pitches like that in the dirt, or in the turf there. As a hitter, you're kind of not really sure what you're supposed to expect because Carlone has been dialed all game. And there he gets a fastball in the outer half. A little surprised that Tim Reynolds even swung at that pitch after the last couple dirt balls.
Yeah, you talked about expectations. Whatever they're expecting and trying to hit, it's not working. 6 strikeouts now.
So Jaden Hill climbs in. He also walked, was a part of those 2 walks back in the second inning. A fielder's choice for David Brodin, and then a strikeout ended the threat. A ground ball here out to second base. Josh Hankins crossbody throw and gets Jaden Hill for out number 3. So easy as it does, the Bucs get a 1-2-3 inning thanks to Cole Carlone. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. No hits, no runs, no errors, and nobody left. We head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Still a 3-0 lead for the Bucs. Welcome back to Mulcahy Stadium. A 3-0 lead for the Bucs as the Bats back out here. It's Adam Inyard, Brody Briggs, and Max Ross to start things off for the Bucs, the bottom half of the order. Last time out, Inyard grounded out to the second baseman. Was Zulaika out there. Brantingham still on the hill for the Chinooks. Looked a lot better here as opposed to that first inning. We had gave up 2 runs. Looking at his walks, he had 4 walks in that inning.
Through 38 pitches and then 16 and 12 over the last 2.
That one almost hit Inyard, missed with the breaking ball. That ball back to him from Reynolds. Sails over his head. Two balls, no strikes. Quickly to Inyard. Thank you for joining us. Especially if you're on the East Coast, about 11:08 over there. So really appreciate that. If you're laying in bed watching us, about to go to bed, couldn't think of anything better, right, Will?
No. Falling asleep watching sports. It's the best. Not a luxury we have here in Alaska.
3 balls, no strikes, and that one's a called strike on the outer half. Inyard nods his head in approval. A good get-back pitch from Brantingham. Let's see if he can find that consistency. Inyard, that wide stance out there. Looks like Bryce Harper from the right side. And an interesting swing off the fist. That one came in tight on him.
Yeah, seemed kind of like a 2-strike swing, but would have been called a strike, so no harm done by swinging at that one and fouling it off. Might have a little bit better sense of timing now with this full count.
Keeps that front leg now more in the batter's box and takes a big swing and a miss. So Brantingham gets back. That ball's thrown away. Inyard's going to head to first base, and he's going to be in there. That was a drop third strike, and now I don't think Inyard is going to stay there. Not really sure what happened, but it looked like a drop third strike, but I think that Tim Reynolds behind home plate saying that he caught that ball, and he was just throwing down to first like they normally do when they throw down to third.
Yeah, that's what I thought might have happened, but it was definitely tough to tell and weird to see him running over there.
So Brantingham, after falling behind 3-0, gets a strikeout to Inyard. It's a little defensive on that last swing. First one to Briggs is fouled away. After Briggs, it'll be Max Ross. 9-hole batter had a base hit in his first plate appearance. For Briggs, flew out to the left fielder. Brantingham brings an 0-1 and it misses up and away. Wind, like normal, is blowing from right to left field. More like center field to left field, if that makes more sense. 0-1's a called strike on the outer half, and Brantingham has done a good job despite the walks. When he's throwing strikes, they're all on the corners, it seems. There's not a lot of good pitches for these Bucs to hit.
Yeah, no, he's done a good job after that first inning. Allowed the 1 run in the third, but definitely a lot more command now.
Roped into right field. That'll be down for a base hit. Brody Briggs is aboard.
Good piece of hitting that time from Briggs. Didn't swing too hard at it, just wanted to make sure to make solid contact, and he did just that.
So Briggs is aboard with 1 out. That'll bring up Max Ross, who has that base hit also to right field. Popnowski's been pretty busy. Tried to track down that ball from Eisenstadt last inning. Fortunately hit off the wall. And was able to bring in a 3rd run for the Bucs as Eisenstadt scored later. So Ross awaiting for Brantingham. Pitch. Hit to left field, but foul. Try to go opposite field there. Just a little bit late on the ball was Max Ross.
Saw him a little late on a fastball his last time to the plate, but love to see the approach of not trying to pull everything, especially the heater.
Getting warm in the bullpen for the Bucs is Andrew Rudd, the righty. But here at the plate, Max Ross. Trying to move Briggs over, and he takes the ball downstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Bucs have done a good job of that so far today, moving guys over when possible. That's what happens when you don't strike out very often. Just 1 strikeout so far for Brantingham.
1 ball, 1 strike to Ross. Brantingham set at the belt. The pitch. Bit outside. Sun's starting to open up a little bit here. As I just said that, this past half inning, it seems like clouds have gotten a little bit, but the sky is at least breaking up a little bit. Some blue skies with the clouds over top. Another beauty of a day. We can still call it a day here with the sunlight. 2-1 on the outer half.
Yep, definitely a beautiful time. I believe today the longest day of the year, the summer
Yeah, the
equinox.
equinox.
So with all the crazy sunlight that we have throughout the whole summer here in Alaska, tonight's going to be the peak of it.
Hitters count for Max Ross. See if Brantingham tries to challenge him. Briggs goes. Pitch is a swing and a miss. The throw down there is going to be bounced and it gets into the outfield, but not enough for Briggs to advance. So a stolen base for him and a swinging strike for Ross. And a really good pitch to swing at. That ball was in the zone, but I'm sure Ross was kind of just swinging to protect Briggs over there. Could have also been a hit and run.
Kind of leaned into the path of Reynolds a little bit, but just doing it little enough to get away with it. So smart play.
Jeremiah Arnett's also stretching out there in the bullpen, but I don't believe he's grabbed a baseball yet. Briggs now at second as Ross pokes this down for a base hit into right center field. Jaden Hill will cut it off. Now Briggs coming around third. There will be no throw. It's a stand-up double for Max Ross.
Great stuff that time from Ross. And we talked about how he's going down the line, down the third base line, trying to hit things the other way. That time, a little bit more pull side, but still into the gap, keeping it pretty straight and hit that right on the button, and no problem at all for Brody Briggs coming around the bags.
He finds the gap, and he needed to there for Briggs to score. Not that Briggs is a slow runner at all, but with how shallow outfielders play, that ball was able to split center field and right field, and plenty of time for Briggs to score standing up. So now the batter is Josh Hankins back to the top of the order. Hankins is grounded out, and he's also walked. That walk was back in the first inning. He scored the first run for the Bucs. Now a chance to plate the fifth run as Max Ross is in scoring position. Next one's fouled back, but a great job by Ross. We talked about him pulling the baseball, and here he's able to wait on it, let it travel just a little bit further, and find that gap over there with Kwapnoski shading more towards the line. It's going to be tough to pull that ball deep into the corner. You saw Ross try to go at it back in the second inning. He settled for a single, but this inning, he found that left center field or right center field gap. And a big lead over at second, too, with no one really holding him on. 1-1's hitting to right field, but that'll hang up there for Kwapnoski. He grabs it for out number 2, and Ross will not advance to third.
Going back to Ross, though, that's now his third double on the season, and if I'm not mistaken, all three coming against the Chinooks.
Yeah, back over there at Chugiak, one double, like I said, really turned on that baseball, was able to line it down the line, and Ross has got a lot of speed, so it's not like that ball went all the way to the corner, but he was able to get it out of the reach of the right fielder. And then the next one, I believe, was very similar to what we just saw. It was hitting the right center corner, or right center gap. Man, you get it out in the right center gap even more than he just did. That's an easy triple. That ball gets away. Racing to third is Ross. He's 90 feet away from being the fifth run to come across for the Bucs. And like I said, when you get that at point of no return out there in the gaps where it's 370, 380, if Ross gets a little more oomph into that pitch, into that whatever he hit, he's able to have an easy stand-up triple.
Well, he's there now. So
exactly. Doesn't matter how you get it done. He's at third base, 90 feet away, with two down. Zane Kelly trying to bring him in. So Brantingham with a 1-0 count. Here it is. Pitch misses upstairs.
And no explosive innings so far for the Bucs, but just solid scoring. Scored now in 3 of the 4 innings so far, and good to see that they're not too reliant on one big rally, able to have scoring chances almost every inning.
Now 6 hits, not just relying on those base on balls, putting it in play as well. And the called strike.
It was a great pitch that time from Brantingham, bringing that breaker in from the back door.
With 2 guys out in the bullpen, we can maybe assume that it might be it for Carlone, but he's pitched really well. Would definitely not be surprised to see him back out there as the 2-1's fouled off, 2-2.
As far as the Chinooks go, someone's stretching over there, no throwing yet. Tough to see a number from here.
So deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for Zane Kelly. Here it is. And it misses outside. Another full count. Brantingham has been in a lot of them. He's done a good job as of late to get out of them, though, without drawing a walk. His last walk was actually all the way back in the first inning.
4 of them in that frame.
3-2. There's the walk. First one since that first inning. The last one was to Andrew Lamb. This time it's to Zane Kelly, who has a terrific eye.
Yeah.
And that's his second walk of the game, and I believe his 8th on the season, which is still the leader for these Bucs.
Yep. You walked twice in a game. You're unlikely to give up that lead, huh?
Mm-hmm. So Eisenstadt, with a double last inning, grabs a bat, and he has 2 on with 2 outs. Runners at the corners. Brantingham takes his time and delivers that one too far upstairs.
Kelly bluffing over to second. We've already seen the Bucs score a run on a double steal move. It was actually Kelly who was at first going to second, enabling Hankins to score. So maybe just testing to see how the Chinooks would respond this time.
See if Kelly wants to go, and now an early steal. Brantingham has nowhere to go, and he's just going to have to let Kelly take it.
Great job that time from Kelly. He immediately looked at Max Ross to see what he was doing, and Ross went back to third, and by the time Brantingham was done looking at Ross, Kelly was easily already into second.
Yeah, great play by Zane Kelly and the awareness. A good job by Ross, helping out a little bit, leaning towards home plate. 1-0's a called strike, as the way he was leaning let Brantingham know, hey, if you throw that ball over to second, once you throw it, I'm darting to home plate, or at least I'm thinking about going to home plate. And Zane Kelly is halfway down the line at that point, with the middle infielders just realizing that he's going. There's just nothing you could really do.
Chinooks tentative after what happened last time.
2 balls, 1 strike to Eisenstadt. Now with 2 runners in scoring position, could really open up this game, Will.
Oh, yeah. Single here could plate 2, and then 4-0 and 6-0, I feel like, have a big difference in feel in those scores.
2-1 misses outside. If he can reach, your namesake, Will Burns, will be up.
And talking about what a big lead could do, I mean, just 1 hit so far for the Chinooks. We know that could change. Saw that happen when we were over there, but haven't produced a lot.
3-1's poked foul. Eisenstadt's been in some really good at-bats. Even that fly out to center field, just missed it. And then that double was also hit in one of the center field gaps. So he did a good job of adjusting after his first at-bat. See if he can adjust again or keep that momentum. Payoff pitch, here it is. A ground ball out to third. Broughton goes to first, and that ends the threat here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. So the Bucs get 1 around, but they leave 2 stranded. We head to the top of the 5th inning. Now a 4-0 lead for the Bucs. Welcome back. 4-0 lead now for the Bucs. New pitcher on. It's Andrew Rudd, the big righty. Will, can you tell us a little about him?
Yeah, Rudd hasn't pitched in league play since back on June 9th. That was a 7-0 win for the Bucs. Pitched the 5th through 8th innings, just 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. Picked up the win in that game, so let's continue off of that strong appearance, although it was a while ago.
First pitch to the batter, David Broughton, is fouled back. He's the 7-hole batter. So 7, 8, and 9 due up. And those 4 innings pitched, obviously it's just one game, one league game that he's pitched in, but just from those 4 innings, you could maybe expect him to be sort of a longer reliever guy as a called strike on the outer half. And I believe did he play in the non-league game? Sorry, we're asking each other this, but we don't have the official stats to those games, so I'd have to go back in my scorebook and look at all of that. But 0-2 pitch now to Broughton as a check swing. They'll appeal, but he didn't go. But
yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I feel like we've definitely seen him more than once so far this season. The rising sophomore at Cal Baptist, listed at 6'5", 230, but I wouldn't say he looks quite as tall as Carlone.
Yeah, but he's definitely built, so he makes up for it in his stature. A called strike 3 has David Broughton questioning what he was looking for on that last pitch. So out number 1 for Rudd, and if he did pitch in those non-league games, we apologize if we don't remember. Wish we had official scoring with that, but that's what happens in the non-league games. But he most likely only pitched 1 or 2 innings because they're scout games. These guys don't pitch as much for those non-league games because it's only 7 innings as well as a called strike, and Rudd's really pounding the zone.
Yeah.
But based off of that first game, we could see him go pretty long here, but we already see some guys up in the bullpen, so you never know. And you know what? Thankfully, the Bucs haven't really needed a guy to go in like long relief, like needed.
No pitchers have really gotten, taken out early.
At least no starting pitchers, yeah.
And looking at Rudd with that strikeout picking up right where Carlone left off. 4 innings, no runs for Carlone. Just the 1 hit, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts, 3 of them looking.
1-2 is a flare into right field. Zane Kelly grabs that one, 2 down.
Hung up for him nicely over there. What looked like might have had some trouble written on it, but we talked about it. Balls just seemed to hang up here and then drop straight down, gave him plenty of time to get over.
So quickly, 2 down for Rudd. I think if it's such a short inning, might as well send him back out there. But the Bucs have been kind of going with their schedule of pitchers that they set out a couple days before. Now a ground ball out here to Will Burns. How easy is that? A 1-2-3 for Andrew Rudd. It's like he was never even out there. So the Chinooks go down quietly. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Still a 4-0 lead for Anchorage. 4-0 lead here in Anchorage. The Bucs bats back out there. It's Will Burns to lead it off, Ryan Callahan, and Andrew Lamb. So the meat of the order as that one floats outside. Burns has walked, and he's grounded out to the first baseman.
A little bit surprised to see Brantingham back out there, approaching 100 pitches.
Yeah, forgot to mention that. Brantingham's still on the hill. Yeah, 99 pitches thrown, and it's a called strike, and he still looks pretty good. And he has that command back a little bit. Those 4 runs, considering how good the Bucs bats have been, especially against Chinooks pitching, 4 runs is not too bad. And just if you're the Chinooks, you want to get those bats back. And
yeah, he hasn't really gotten any support.
No run support at all. And the same thing happened last game.
Yep.
He gave up 1 run to these Bucs hitters in 7 innings, and no runs for the Chinooks. That one floats outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. Since the first inning, he's only had that 1 walk. That was to Zane Kelly. So his command has gotten a lot better. He's been making these Bucks put it into play, but at a cost with these 4 runs. 3-1 swung on and missed from Burns. But honestly, if you're Brantingham, with how many walks you were giving up back in the first inning, and just in 2 runs scored, considering that the Bucks have just scored 1 in the third and 1 in the fourth because of more hitting, I think that you would take that rather than the missing command. If you would have one thing over the other, I'd rather have more command. You're throwing it in the zone. Yeah, you're allowing a little more hits, but at least you have more of a chance to get outs.
You'd rather them beat you than you beat yourself,
Exactly,
I think.
Yeah.
Branningham will be happier with where his pitches are going. At the end of the day, he has no control over what happens after he places them where he wants to. But if you're just throwing outside the strike zone, nothing you can do.
3-2 is too far inside for Burns, so another walk from Brantingham. That'll bring up Ryan Callahan, but before that, it looks like it's going to be Tim Cole out to make a pitching change. A slow walk out there on the mound. We were saying that there's someone up there in the Chinooks bullpen. It's a little hard from our vantage point to tell you who, but he gets a hug from his catcher behind home plate, Tim Reynolds, and he gives the ball up to Tim Cole. So there will be a pitching change. We'll tell you all about the Chinooks' new pitcher after we take a short break. 4-0 here in Anchorage. 1 on with nobody out in the middle of the order coming up. Welcome back. Still a 4-0 lead with the Bucks threatening 1 on and nobody out for Ryan Callahan. The new pitcher is Braden Adams, Will.
Yeah, Braden pitched 1 inning of relief back in the first matchup between these two teams. Just a walk, no hits, no runs, no strikeouts, and then got a start just a few days later going 5 innings, 5 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. So
Burns goes. The pitch called a strike. The throw down is not in time. It was on the third base side of second base. So not a real chance for Dagenhart to make a swipe tag on Burns, who already beat the rap over there at second. So a stolen base for Burns. He was caught stealing back in the first, so I'm sure that one feels really good.
As I was saying, tough to know how far Adams will go. We've seen him pitch 1 inning. We've seen him pitch 5 as a starter.
0-1's flared out into center field. This could get down. Jaden Hill coming on, and he won't have a play. That one's going to fall. Burns heads to third base in a 3-hit day for Ryan Callahan. Hats off, young man.
Yeah, Callahan's been killing it, and Hill bobbled that ball off the bounce a little bit. Was wondering if Burns would maybe get the green light, but with no outs here, definitely the right call to have him stay put at third.
That one just a little too shallow for Burns to have a chance. But like you said, a bobble out there from Jaden Hill almost cost them another run. But a tough spot to be in if you're Braden Adams now with 2 on and nobody out. You came on with 1 on and nobody out and with the hottest hitter for the Bucs today up and unfortunately gave up a base hit. 2 of those hits from Callahan have been kind of flares, but they've been flares where they're going to land either way. It's not like he's getting lucky. He's doing a great job of fighting off those pitches. The lefty, his second base hit was into left field, and that was just a really good deal of hitting, able to hit it off the end of the hands. And this one, just able to flare it up to center field, and any ball that goes to center field is good. Just trying to hit it right up the middle. So Lamb fouls that one back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Lamb grounded into a double play to end the 3rd inning. Wouldn't want to do that here, although it would still, as long as it's getting Callahan out and not Burns, played a run for the Bucs in all likelihood, but love to score him in a fashion not getting 2 outs.
1-1. Hit well into right field. That one is going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Burns scores easily. Callahan chugging around third. He's going to get the red light. It's a stand-up RBI double for Andrew Lamb, and the Bucs take a 5-0 lead.
Callahan and now Lamb, the middle of the order for the Bucs, doing damage. That ball was roped out to right field, like you said, all the way to the wall, easily scoring Burns. And with runners on second and third, there's still nobody out, and the Bucs are really in business here.
They sure are. And unfortunately, Braden Adams comes into the game and not the right time as the Bucs bats are wide awake. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed those bats are and have been for this whole game. Adam Inyard takes a big swing and a miss. Like he's just stepping out of the plate a little bit. See him stay through the ball and try to hit one into left field. That's kind of where he's been aiming at. So infield is in, trying to protect that run over there at third. That's Ryan Callahan. 0-1 misses upstairs. A great job by Lamb. Saw a pitch he wanted to hit. Was able to pull that ball deep into the corner. And if he gets it even deeper, Ryan Callahan scoring with ease.
Yeah, and Bucs up to 8 hits now, which is great to see after a tough day at the office from a hitting standpoint on Tuesday.
Pitch by Adams, misses. 2 balls, 1 strike. After Inyard, it will be Briggs. Then Max Ross. Love a chance to hit again. He's also 2 for 2, like Callahan was before that base hit. 2 balls, 1 strike to Inyard. Here it is. That one's in the dirt. Hitters count now.
There is a base open, but I don't think Adams wants to put another guy on. Would bring the force into play with Briggs coming up, but needs outs here.
Hitters count to Inyard. Here it is. Hit right back up the middle. Through a base hit. Callahan scores. Getting the green light is Andrew Lamb. There will be no throw, and it's a 2 RBI single for Adam Inyard. The Bucs blowing this game wide open here in Anchorage.
With the infield in, the only hope for the Chinooks defensively was for Adams to make that play. Ball, it seemed, went right through his legs and wasn't hit particularly hard, so by the time it got to Jaden Hill, Lamb had made the turn and he was scoring easily.
An easy green light for Sanagorski. I'm sure his arm's a little bit tired. Well, with 7 runs on the scoreboard now, and that will bring up Brody Briggs. And unfortunately for Adams, you get put into the game with a really tough spot. 1 on and nobody out for Callahan, who's been seeing it really well today. Gives up a base hit, and well, they just all piled on each other, huh?
Yeah, it's a hit parade right now for the Bucs, and luckily we're invited.
True that. A walk, a single, double, and another single. First pitch to Briggs is a called strike on the outer half.
And the best part about it, still nobody out.
Yep. That is a good part. So nobody out. In the bullpen, it is Jeremiah Arnett, who is warming up for the Bucs.
Don't see anybody tossing on the Chinook side as of now.
Well, it might be the plan to send Adams for a long period of time. Remember, those 5 innings pitched, so it could be a long relief for him. 0-1's hit well into right field, down for a base hit. Kropnowski cuts it off. Heading into third is Inyard. Taking a big turn around first is Briggs, but he'll retreat. And it's 4 base hits in a row.
Whatever the Bucs are doing at the plate is working. It's hit after hit after hit for these Bucs, and the line just keeps moving along. Seems like every time someone comes to the plate and puts wood on the baseball, you're just expecting it to get down somewhere at this point.
So Inyard goes first to third, And another runner in scoring position, and this time Max Ross, who's also 2 for 2. And if you're Adams, you're just not catching any breaks with these Bucs batters. A single and a double for Ross is his line. Check back to first in time.
Other than the one ground ball right through his legs, I don't think there's any of these plays that he should expect to catch breaks on. They've all been hit pretty hard on a line, too.
That one up the middle was smoked, too, so it would have to take some weird hop to stay on the infield. First one to Ross is a called strike. Little iffy on that one, he thinks.
He's had a couple that he hasn't been so sure about, but hasn't phased him from getting hits.
Not at all.
Wonder if Briggs and Enyart would get into some first and third action that we've seen the Bucs try so far.
Hit into center field. Jaden Hill is there and makes the grab. Adam Enyart will tag, and it's a sac fly for Max Ross, who has another RBI.
I mean, even an out, the Bucs are still doing a great job of making something happen, getting that run home, and now 8-0. Still just one out. I mean, the Bucs aren't stopping, and we've talked about it over and over. When you're having these outs that are at least in play and you're not striking out, good things like that will happen.
Good things indeed. Now 10 hits, 8 runs on 10 hits. That'll bring up the top of the order, Josh Hankins. He's 0 for 2 with the walk and scored once. That was the first score of the game as he takes a cold strike. If he can reach, borrowing a double play, Zane Kelly will bat. So no sign if Andrew Rudd will come back out for the Bucs after this long inning. That one misses. Like I said, Arnett is up and ready in the bullpen, it seems, or at least up. A lot of options to go here, Will. Could save the pitching staff. You're up 8 runs.
It's a great luxury to have. Gives you a lot of flexibility as a manager if you're Coach Springman.
1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch is outside, but from what we're hearing with the pitching staff and how ready they are to go and how they kind of know the schedule when they're going to pitch, and I'm sure all teams do this, but there hasn't really been hiccups in the road pitching standpoint wise. We mentioned that not a lot of guys have had to be pulled out from their appearances because they're not pitching so well. Hit to short, and there is Dagenhart. He steps on second for 1 and on to first, a double play. So Josh Hankins grounds into that 6-3 double play as it was grounded right there. Stepping on it was Dagenhart. So a big inning for the Bucs. 4 runs are scored on the 4 total hits, 4 in a row for the Bucs. Now an 8-0 lead as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Welcome back. Still Andrew Rudd on the hill as we enter the top half of the 6th inning. First pitch is called a strike to the leadoff batter, Oliver Dagenhart, who made a nice double play to end that last half inning.
And the Chinooks needed that desperately. 4 runs for the Bucs in the bottom of the 5th.
Ground ball up the middle. See if anyone can get to it. It's Will Burns. Fires, throws, not in time. And a tough play, but that one was dead up the middle, almost skipping over the bag.
Oh, yeah, directly over second base. And tough play for Hankins or Burns. And Burns able to get to it and got rid of it as quickly as he possibly could. Accurate throw over to first, but just not to be that time. That'll be a single.
Yeah, so just the second base hit for the Chinooks. It's been hard to come by against this Bucs pitching staff. 2 errors for Anchorage, though. Hit on a line out to Ryan Callahan, and he has that in one, no problem. Like we said, a hot corner for a reason. Ryan Callahan has been super busy over there. He's been busy at the plate, too. 3 for 3.
What a day for Callahan offensively and defensively. And we've seen a lot of times when he's at second, Christian Powell being the busiest man on the infield, but today that's Callahan's role.
So, not sure. I guess these righties are pretty early on some pitches or out front, and lefties might be a little late. It seems like it's the righties, though. And usually you would think, well, they're early on that pitch. That means they're throwing slower. Not at all. It just means that they are not expecting the breaking ball, not expecting the pitches to have a little something off of it, and just too early on it. That one on a line to Callahan again and caught. Stop it.
He's a magnet over there.
Stop. That's exactly what's happening. These breaking balls from Bucs hitters are just messing with the timing for the Chinooks. And not to say that they're not hitting it hard to third base, but they're hitting it right to Callahan. And, hats off to the pitchers. They're, pitching aggressively, trying to get ground balls, trying to get pop flies. And they're just getting a lot of stuff over there to Callahan, who's probably like, sure, I'll take it.
He's been in the perfect position. He's had to dive for a couple, but the last 2 hit basically right at him. Has hardly had to move, so whether that's him or the coaching staff, they've got him in the right spot.
So a 1-0 count now on to Jacob Hayes. Big swing and a miss, and there it is early on that off-speed pitch, and that's what's been happening. These righties early, and they're hitting it out to third base instead of trying to poke it up into center field. So 2 down now, still the runner Dagenhart at first. 1-1's fouled away. He's 1 strike away.
Been a great inning so far for Rudd. Pitch count was super low in his first inning of work, and we talked about not knowing how long he'd go. But when you throw that few pitches, telling your coach, you're giving your coach good reason to let you go back out there.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Here it is from Rudd, and it's in the dirt. First play of the game was a ground ball over there to Callahan. He made the play. Next one was a little bit tougher. Had to dive and made a great stop. The unfortunate part was he just threw the ball wide, so that was his only error, but he's had so many plays to him. If that one error is the only one he's going to have, he'll take it. 2-2's fouled back again. Besides that, he's had some more good plays. I believe he had a fielder's choice back in the second inning. He also kind of dove on that ball. I think he threw to second.
There's one where he stepped on third.
That might have been it. Deuces wild. The 2-2 is in tight.
I was about to make a comment. You hadn't said the deuces were wild yet. I was a little surprised. Took a foul ball, but luckily the deuces were still wild. You don't miss it, huh?
Not at all. Big tradition, especially if you're on the hitter side. Get a little cap, shake it for some good luck. We get really superstitious back when I was
Baseball
playing.
players? Superstitious?
No, right? 3-2, swung on and missed. Took something off of it. And the slow bats for the Chinooks. They're just not getting anything done versus these Bucs pitchers, who have still not given up a run. Just 2 hits given up for this Bucs pitching staff in almost a 1-2-3 inning after the leadoff base hit. But Rudd works around it. We head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Bucs trying to add on. Still 8-0. The Bucks lead in grand fashion, and it's going to be Zane Kelly to lead things off for the Bucks. And I'm sure after that big inning, he was licking his chops at a chance to get up to bat.
Yeah, Kelly and Eisenstadt, the only two Bucks not to go to the plate in that inning.
And it's funny enough because those have been some of the most productive guys in this lineup.
Just shows you even
Yeah.
when you don't have those guys at the plate, you can still score 4 runs. This lineup is so deep, and not even just the guys in the lineup today, but the guys on the bench. I mean, there's 13, 14, 15 guys that can make an impact.
1-0 is skied into right field, or right center field, as Jaden Hill comes over and takes it from Kwapnoski for out number 1, and that thing was hit way up there.
Yeah, thought I saw it kind of curving all around up there, but Hill called off Kwapnoski. Ended up not being the most routine-looking catch.
Yeah.
Maybe should have left it for his right fielder, but it's an out nonetheless.
So 1 down for Eisenstadt, and I was saying that the Chinooks would rather take, the 1 runs given up in the 3rd and 4th, knowing that they've limited the walks there, as that one is skied just outside of the infield. Zulaika, the second baseman, grabs it for out number 2. So quickly 2 down. But going back to what I was saying was, they'd give up, or they'd rather take those 3rd and 4th innings, just giving up 1 run with the, more balls put into play, more base hits, but a more chance for outs. But now with 4 runs scored, maybe the Chinooks are thinking they should have tried to pitch around these Bucks a little
Pick
bit.
your poison with this lineup sometimes when it's clicking.
I have no idea what you could have done. So Will Burns bats. He led things off with a walk back in this 5th inning. That got things going. After that, 4 straight base hits from the guys behind him: Callahan, Lamb, Inyart, and Briggs.
And these questions you're asking about the best way to pitch to the Bucks, I'm sure the Chinooks are asking themselves the same thing.
Yeah, there's not much. You try to pitch around them, and you're going to run into really good discipline and a lot of walks, and you throw things, in the zone, and not even just directly down the middle, just in the zone, and they're going to hit you. These guys are ready to hit. I think that's huge because there's so many teams that don't take the bats off their shoulders, and that's all they do, and they play small ball with you, and they'll bunt, and they'll take their walks. There's a 3-0 pitch now. Finds the zone, and then you have the other teams that don't really walk, that strike out a lot, that are putting balls into play, high-scoring games or low-scoring games because of those strikeouts. But this team is so well balanced, so early on in the year. 3-1, a called strike again.
It was pretty immediate. I mean, we saw it after the first 2 wins. The first game was 1-0, or first 3 wins. First game was 1-0, first win, and then I believe 4-3, and then 7-0 or something like that. So winning different types of games.
Payoff pitch is hitting the foul ground, and that one is going to get out of play. So Will Burns, a new life. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. 10 hits with 8 runs to show for it. And just 2 hits for the Chinooks. That's it.
Yeah, really struggling to get hits off the Bucks. And even in that 12-7 game, only had a couple hits going into the latter innings of that one. Finally got something going, but seems like this team just really struggles to hit against the Bucks. Not the highest average as a team in all their games either.
3-2s, poked out to second base. What a grab by Zulaika. Talk about fully laying out. And I bet he's thinking that he's a right-handed fielder, as he was just able to reach out and grab that one. So Will Burns gets a little bit unlucky. A 1-2-3 inning for the Bucks bats as we head to the top half of the 7th inning. We're breezing right along here in Anchorage. 8-0 lead for the Bucks. Welcome back. Still an 8-0 lead here. Andrew Rudd still on the hill for the Bucs, but now with the play-by-play, here's Will Hopkins.
Appreciate it, Vic. 8-0, the Bucs lead it. Rudd out for his third inning of work. First pitch cut on and missed by Tim Reynolds, and here the Chinooks not necessarily even thinking about coming back with 8 runs. Just want to get something going offensively to show yourselves you can score consistently against this Bucs team, something they certainly haven't done throughout the season so far, other than that one game over on their home field. Something about this park, I guess. At least when the Bucs are playing, as that one's cut on and missed from Reynolds, 1-2.
Yeah, and on that first pitch, he was super ahead of that breaking ball. I think Rudd has figured it out now that he's got their bats out way in front. And even on that fastball, now he looks behind on it.
Pulled down the left field line, foul. Looked like he was way out in front of the breaker yet again, just able to make a little bit of contact with it that time.
Yeah, if you're Callahan, might you want to take a couple steps back? I mean, it seems like every ball is hit over there. How early they are on these breakers.
I think Callahan knows what he's doing over there. The game he's had.
Oh.
And they say he went around. Briggs had applied the tag before the appeal down to first. First base umpire said that Reynolds went around, so it's a swinging strikeout for Tim Reynolds.
Yeah, he put his arms up. That one looked pretty close to me.
Yeah, tough to tell from this angle for sure. But smart by Briggs to just tag him just in case, right?
Yeah, it definitely helps in selling it a little bit. And now looking at that back on our monitor here, ooh, that might be a big break for the Bucs.
I'm sure the Chinooks will be thinking they don't need any breaks. They're up 8-0.
Yeah, exactly. We've given them enough breaks.
Hey, it's hard to decide if those batters went around. Such a split-second decision as that one's fouled off the leg of Jaden Hill. We've seen in the MLB and college some questionable decisions by umpires at that level on some checked swings, and definitely one of the harder plays to call in baseball. Fouled off his leg again.
We've seen some check swings today, but they've been similar to what we just saw from Tim Reynolds, and the umpires have been really quick to say that they did not go. So I was surprised to see them say that he did. I guess maybe they met their quotas for guys that didn't go.
3 umpires today. We saw 4. I can't remember if it was a non-league game or one of our last games before those non-league games. Big swing and a miss got Jaden Hill down to a knee for strike 3.
Whew.
Tough AB for Hill. Had a ball bounce off of his leg 2 pitches in a row and then strikes out swinging.
Yeah, just beautiful pitches there from Rudd. He's able to get these guys out on their front foot and just make it look really easy.
Broughton watches one outside. Fouled back our way.
He's working with great pace. He's comfortable out there.
Pounding the zone.
He's pounding the zone. He knows how much he's up by. He's quickly ready. He's up with that glove in front of his face, and he's just so quick with it.
Spikes this one, but with an 8-run lead, great idea. Pound the zone. If they get a couple hits, they get a couple hits, but the last thing you want to do is be issuing free passes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
10 balls and 23 strikes for Rudd. Make that 24 on the foul ball.
Yeah, just now he's got 2 strikes on him, and just go right at him. There's no reason to waste a pitch here, even if you were 1-2.
Deuce is wild. Top of the 7th inning here in Anchorage. Just getting a piece of it is Broughton.
Love it, love it. Just keep pounding that zone and challenge these hitters. 2 hits, they get another one, no problem. But you're towards the bottom of the order too, who hasn't been really producing that much.
Briggs has a word with Rudd as the home plate umpire gets some more baseballs.
And I like that. Briggs is kind of already out there and just chose that moment to go talk to his pitcher, and maybe just about this one pitch will they want to throw and get out of this inning. And I think Briggs probably saw something from the batter, and maybe he knows exactly what type of pitch and where to put it.
2-2 from Rudd. Oh, Bucs dugout really wanted that one.
That's exactly what he probably told him. I want that fastball in the outer half. We've been getting that call a good bit, but we have seen it not called as well.
So now the count's full. Bounce foul down the third base line. Rudd looking for a 1-2-3 inning, and maybe more specifically, looking to strike out the side here in the top of the 7th.
And Arnett's still out there in the bullpen, so I guess he'd be the next guy up. This is Rudd's last inning.
Home plate umpire calls time as someone went to go retrieve that baseball. Can't tell who it is.
There's Brett Castillo over there.
All squared away now. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Hit out to right, going to be in foul territory. Zane Kelly giving it a run, but it's over the fence and in to the bullpen or the bleachers. Looks like the bleachers. Some kids going over there to try to get the ball. Tough for us to see down the lines, but do the best we can. 9th pitch of the at-bat coming. If Rudd's going to strike out the side, Broughton's going to make him work for it. Just a bit inside. Great at-bat that time from Broughton. And, I mean, after the first 2 batters, really doing a good job of making Rudd throw more pitches and work for that out. Unable to get it done, so now Groves comes to the plate.
Yeah, Rudd really wanted it, but Broughton was putting together good at-bats, and he was very close to getting a hold of some baseballs, so maybe not the worst thing that he's walked right here, and you can just get a ground ball right now.
Yep, ground ball to Will Burns. He'll go to second. Oh, no. Looks like Josh Hankins dropped the ball. Throw to second from Burns was a little bit low, and Hankins unable to squeeze it. Not sure who that error will go on.
It's got to go on Hankins over there. That ball was right in his glove, and it just somehow popped out. I'm not sure if – I don't know why he would be transferring, but with the glove, because that was the final out. I have no idea.
So an error on the second baseman. Hankins gives the Chinooks an extra out in the top of the 7th. Outside corner that time to Kwapnowski. Seen a couple not ideal plays from the Bucs defensively in this one. I believe it was the 2nd inning that we saw Briggs with an errant throw. This one grounded to second. Hankins will get a chance to make up for it. Makes the throw over to first and does. So a couple quick strikeouts and then a little bit going on the base paths for the Chinooks, but nobody's scoring. It's time to stretch here at Mulcahy Stadium with the Bucs up big 8-0. Hope you had a good stretch. Back for the home half of the 7th inning. Braden Adams still out on the bump for the Chinooks. As at this point, Chinooks might just be trying to limit the pitchers they use in a big hole down 8-0. And for the Bucs, love to get back to the plate on a day when your offense is in a groove. First pitch swinging is Callahan. Had a great day on both sides. 3 singles at the plate and some great defensive work on the hot corner.
Yeah, she's been super busy over there, and I think it's fired him up, and he's hit the ball really well, so I think both of those things are feeding off of each other. Good fielding, good hitting.
0-1 is way upstairs to the 3rd baseman. After Callahan, it'll be Andrew Lamb and then Adam Enyart for the Bucs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Outside from Adams that time. Despite the loss on Tuesday, Bucs still sitting atop the ABL standings with a record of 5-2. Outside.
Love to have a win back in the win column, get another streak together. Got a lot of games coming up once we hit that roads part with the Pilots, then the Miners, and then the Oilers for 5.
Callahan takes a walk, so doesn't come up with a hit, but still can't be retired by this staff for the Chinooks. They're going to have nightmares about number 17 in the white with pinstripes. So now Andrew Lamb comes to the plate. Lamb with an RBI double in that big 4-run fifth for the Bucs. Fouls this one off. Came around to score on a 2 RBI single from Enyart, the man on deck.
A great deal of hitting for Lamb. He's just able to get a hold of that one. And designated hitter, we've seen him play so many different positions, and he's just also a really good bat.
Hit this one hard out to right. Bobnowski able to get under it, though. Hit that one on the button, but unfortunately hung up for the Chinooks right fielder, one away.
So now Enyart, who had a 2 RBI base hit, drove in Callahan and Lamb.
4 runs on 4 hits for the Bucs in that big bottom of the 5th. Enyart getting some signs from the Bucs coaching staff with Callahan over there at first.
Ooh, almost had Callahan leaning there a little bit. Not like he was going to go, but it was a little caught off guard almost.
I feel like the throw got over there pretty quickly, but Jaffe not the quickest to apply the tag once he had the ball in his glove. Nothing doing from Callahan, and great off-speed pitch from Adams that time.
Yeah, and Enyart made a great adjustment last time when he got the big hit. He was able to keep his leg in and able to stay through the baseball. On some of these swings and misses in the first couple at bats, seems like he's dipping that front leg out a little bit and almost reaching for some pitches.
Coming up empty yet again is Enyart. Does have a hit today, but like you said, has had some swings that he probably wouldn't be the proudest of. Seen some Bucs come back from down 0-2 holes, though. Max Ross getting a hit super early on in this one, and Enyart looking to do the same. Good eye that time. Delayed steal from Callahan over at first, and tag applied by the second baseman, Zulaika. Callahan trying to catch Tim Reynolds sleeping, but Reynolds was awake to it, and Zulaika scrambling to cover and make the play. So now 2 away for the Bucs. The 1-2 count to the batter, Enyart. Check swing. No appeal down to first, and the pitch is called a ball.
That looked like even closer than the one the first base umpire rung up for the Chinooks.
I'm pretty surprised that Tim Reynolds didn't ask the home plate umpire to check on over at first.
Yeah, that was on Tim Reynolds, that check swing. Interesting you say that. I think that he would obviously check down.
And pitch is called a strike for the 3rd out of the inning. Bucs come up scoreless in the bottom of the 7th. Head to the 8th with the Bucs still leading by 8. Wichita State Shocker Jeremiah Arnett on the bump for the Bucs, taking over for Andrew Rudd. Pitched really well, 3 innings, just 1 hit, four strikeouts, excuse me, 2 swinging and 2 looking and 1 walk, and of course, no runs allowed. As the Bucs are pitching a shutout so far, the Chinooks in danger of their second league shutout at the hands of the Bucs, and what would be their third total. Just 2 hits today after no hits against the Bucs in that 7-inning game on Sunday. Lost a game on June 7th by a score of 1-0 against these Bucs. So been an offensive struggle for them against this Anchorage team as Dagenhart takes a strike and just 6 outs remaining for the Chinooks before they'd be shut out yet again.
Yeah, and going back to Rudd, he just had great pacing the whole game. Came in, had a good lead set out for him, and just really shoved. I think he was pounding the zone and seemed like fully in control.
Ground ball up the middle. Burns able to take it. High throw to first, though, and that brings Eisenstadt off the bag.
Yeah, and not the easiest play for Burns, but he fielded it so cleanly, and that throw unfortunately just has to be made. So I think it has to go down as an error on the throw there, but obviously not the easiest of plays. And that ball's a little more up center field, hit harder. I think you can maybe argue that that's a base hit, but the throw sailing high, I think, is an error. So error for Will Burns, and that's 4 now.
Yeah, one problem for the Bucs in this game. Other than that, been a great game all around, but errors would definitely be something they'd want to clean up as the pitch to Zulaika is called a strike. And a good job from Eisenstadt saying, forget the bag, I'm just going to make sure to secure this ball. In a game with a lead this big for the Bucs, don't want to put the runner on second. The out's not the end of the world, but don't want anything more to happen than what needs to. 4th outing in league play on record for Arnett. Definitely been one of the more popular arms out of the pen. Last pitched against these Chinooks last Wednesday as far as league play goes. 1 1/3, 3 hits, no runs, 1 strikeout. Also faced the Chinooks back in June 7th, so he'll be familiar with these guys.
We just saw what happened. That happened a lot in the last game, is the pitchers having to throw the ball they just got out.
Runner goes, pitches high, throw down to second. Not going to be in time. A little bit to the third base side of second base. Stolen base for Dagenhart.
Yeah, and the throw was not bad at all from Briggs, but if he wanted to get him out, he did have him beat with the throw, but just needs to put it on the first base side of second. That one was on the third base side, so no chance of getting that. But Arnett had to throw the ball that he just received out because he licked his fingers and didn't immediately wipe it off.
We saw that on Sunday?
We saw it a bunch on Tuesday, yeah.
1-1 low and away, so runner in scoring position for the Chinooks, and I know they're down by 8, but I think a run for them would be huge against the team they've been struggling to score against, just as a little bit of encouragement before these two teams meet again.
Yeah, I mean, it's a five-team league, so you're going to be seeing these teams a lot. If you can't figure out one team, you're just going to struggle the whole season.
This one hit out to second. Hankins has it, makes the throw to first for the out. Dagenhart goes over to third.
Yeah, now Chinooks doing their job, moving runners over a little bit. I don't suspect the Bucs to be, they're not going to play on the infield. This run, obviously, with an 8-run lead, doesn't really mean much.
More about preventing a colossal inning. And we have seen the Chinooks strike for a big inning, scored 5 in an inning last week against these Bucs. So not completely out of the woods. This ball is hammered to left field. Enyart going back, and he's going to look over the wall. Home run for Jordan Jaffe, and the Chinooks get on the board in a big way here in the top of the 8th.
Yeah, and Jaffe's been struggling a little bit, especially today. Has 2 strikeouts in that line out. But that line out to third base at Callahan was hit pretty hard. He was seeing the breaking ball, and he was just early on it in the last couple go-arounds. But there, got a breaking ball from Arnett and was able to stay through it, and he just rifled that. And no doubter, Enyart barely even took a couple steps.
After the home run from Dagenhart yesterday, Jaffe gets in on the fun today. First home run that this Bucs staff has surrendered all season long. League play, non-league play, all of it. Luckily, it comes in a game where they have a big lead, but now things will get a little bit more serious. Lead down to 6. And like I said, that could do some confidence for the Chinooks for the next time these two teams play, which isn't for a while. Not until Sunday, July 7th. That'll be here at Mulcahy Stadium, but a large reason for that is a big road trip coming up for the Bucs to Kenai to face the Oilers. That one misses outside, and if you're Arnett, obviously a mistake that you're not thrilled with, but just needs to zero back in on these hitters and be satisfied with the way that he closes this outing. This one hit out to right. Going to be a tough play for Kelly. Not going to get there. Gets down in fair territory and bounces to the fence in foul territory. Kelly throws it in, but going to be late, and Hayes in there with a double.
Yeah, that one not the hardest hit ball at all. And Arnett's probably a little frustrated that that one got down. Just unfortunate, but the Chinooks, they're a good hitting team. They put up 7 runs against the Bucs when we were over there at Chugiak, so just not a surprise that they're finally waking up.
Yeah, just putting the ball in play, which they haven't done at least in the air much until now. A lot of balls on the ground. That one seemed like it might have been off the bat a little bit, but just found a spot in shallow right, and Kelly had way too far to run before that one landed. So another runner scoring position for these Chinooks. Catcher Tim Reynolds comes to the plate. Briggs has a little chat with Arnett. Probably just trying to calm the righty down and hopefully reminding him of the success he's had so far this year. Just needs to get back to some of those things that were working. Don't worry about what's happened so far. At the end of the day, the home run and even the runner on second don't matter unless things start to spiral. So as long as he can keep things from spiraling, he should be good to go. And he's shown great ability so far this season. So I think Briggs should have good confidence in him. Head nod from Briggs despite the miss, I think, showing Arnett that he liked what he saw that time.
Yeah, Arnett's pitched a good bit for this Bucs team, but we haven't seen him as much of late. I know it's still early on in the year. But time off with the non-league games as well, too. Maybe just taking a little while.
Squibber down the first base line. That one's not going to come back into fair territory.
And another arm warming up for the Bucs, not necessarily because Arnett has given up the 2 runs, but just because he might not have been scheduled to go 2 innings. This might be his only inning. Trying to get an ID on who's out there.
I think it might be Brody Purcell, but tough to say for sure from here.
We'll keep an eye on that one, certainly.
A ball and a strike. This one grounded to third. Another chance for Callahan. Looks the runner back to second and makes the throw to first. He's just been flawless over there.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Did have the one mistake early, but made up for it with various other plays. I believe might have even made the next out. So Callahan been super reliable over at third and giving good reason for him to get some more playing time, in addition to what he's done at the plate.
And now this is a tough third out. And Hill is a switch hitter.
Yep, switch hitter batting from the left side now. Bat from the right to start against the lefty Carlone. Fouls that one away.
Had a strikeout last inning to Rudd, assuming he was batting from the left side like now.
Hitless so far today. 0 for 2 with a walk is Hill. Just 4 hits for these Chinooks total, 2 of them coming in the top of the 8th right here. Way outside this time. If Arnett's able to retire Hill, the last hope for the Chinooks in the 9th will be the bottom 3 in the order, Broughton, Groves, and Kwapnowski. 1-1 fouled back, so Arnett has Hill down to his last strike in this penultimate frame.
Yeah, and if you're Arnett, knowing these Chinooks have put some good bats on balls, the 1-2 count, I wouldn't throw them anything too good to hit. These guys are probably itching for some more runs and more base runners.
Check swing. No appeal. Tough with the positioning of the umpires. Just 3 umpires. Now here's an appeal, and the umpire standing closer to second base than third says that he did not go around. So 2-2 now. To the center fielder.
Yep.
And time is called. There was a long pause there. Not sure who ended up calling time, whether it was Briggs or Arnett or Hill.
Arnett motioned with his glove to kind of redo the sign. I think just a little confused with Briggs. I think they've got it now.
Deuce is wild. Counter on the right side. Eisenstadt gloves it, steps on first for the third out. Home run for Jordan Joffe puts 2 on the board for the Chinooks, but that's all as Arnett able to limit the damage. We head to the home half of the 8th with the lead cut to 6.
Picking off the bottom half of the 8th for the Bucs, the catcher from Arizona State University, number 5.
Mulcahy Stadium, bottom of the 8th inning. Bucks lead it 8-2 against the Chugiak-Eagle River Chinooks. Bucks looking to respond after a tough loss on Tuesday at the hands of the rival Pilots. Would be the second time that they can respond to a loss to the Pilots with a win against the Chinooks. Pitch is called a strike to Brody Briggs. It'll be Max Ross and Josh Hankins after him in the bottom of the 8th. Still Braden Adams out on the mound for the Chinooks. Pitches inside for Adams. This is 4th inning. Came in with no outs, although with the runner already on in the 5th. Bucks ended up scoring 4 in that frame as that one's outside. And we saw him go 1 inning in a game so far this year, 5 innings, and this outing more like the latter. It's 4th inning of work, and I'd assume that the Chinooks would like to see him see it through.
Yeah, and it looks like you're right over there. Brody Purcell in the bullpen for the Bucks. Looks like he's going to try to put on the final touches to this one in the top half of the 9th inning. Like to have maybe a little bigger of a lead than 6 runs, but we'll sure take it.
Bouncer right in front of home plate. Dagenhart charges, and the throw is low to first. Backed up nicely by the catcher, Tim Reynolds. Applies the tag to Brody Briggs, but he never made that left turn past first base, so he's safe over there.
Yeah, and a tough play. Briggs gets down the line really good for a catcher, but yeah, the throw not the best from Dagenhart. It's going to go down as an error.
Did well to charge it and glove it, and then just kind of rush the throw over there. Seeing Briggs, the catcher, busted down the line and even take off a couple of times. So speed that definitely was in Dagenhart's head. First pitch popped up, foul territory. No play.
And a good day for Ross. 2 for 3. Base hit and a double. Surprised he hasn't come around to score yet. Wasn't really involved in that 5th inning besides a fly out. So couldn't really score on that one. The first 2 base hits must feel good for him. First 2 base hits of today's at least.
Yep, and a team that he's hit well against.
Yeah.
Had 2 doubles like we talked about last week against them, and something about these Chinooks has Max Ross at his best.
Yep, those are his first 2 hits of the game. Or first 2 hits of the season, excuse me.
Ooh, another inside strike call to Ross. Not the first time we've seen him unhappy with the call, and from up here seemed like he had a legitimate gripe with that one.
Yeah, that one looked a little too far inside, but I guess Adams will get the call.
He has a single after falling behind 0-2, worked that count back to 2-2, and swings at this one, grounds it through on the right side just like he did the first time. Big turnaround second for Briggs. Here comes the throw from right field. It is in time. Great throw from Kwapnoski. Heads up base running from Ross gets him over to second, but just a little bit over eager that time maybe from Briggs, but got to give some credit to Kwapnoski.
Yeah, a good throw out of there. I thought that Briggs maybe got under that tag, but I guess not. A really good job by Max Ross to advance to second once he saw that throw coming into third.
So that's the first out of this inning. Heads up base running though by Ross, advancing to second on that throw. Brings up Josh Hankins, who watches this one outside. Hankins no hit so far. A walk, a couple of ground outs, and a fly out for the Bucs second baseman, batting leadoff today. 11 hits for the Bucs as a whole, though, as that one bounces in there. Ross speed at second, so with a single to the outfield, Hankins should pick up an RBI. Great day for these Bucs bats, and only one hit for the top four guys in the order, encouraging to see that it doesn't have to come from the top, even though the top's been so productive much of this season. 3 straight balls to Hankins now from Adams. Zane Kelly waits on deck, and if we get that far, Eisenstadt would be after him. 8-2 still the lead for the Bucs. Runner in scoring position in Ross. This time he finds the zone.
And not a bad decision by Briggs trying to go to 3. That ball was into right field.
Took a perfect throw to
yeah,
get him.
And it was a perfect throw.
That one misses outside. 5-pitch walk from Adams to Hankins. Now first and second with one away. Brings up Zane Kelly.
To the plate, the right fielder from San Diego State University, number 4, Zane Kelly.
Second walk for Adams after 6 from Brantingham, the starter who went 4 innings. Seeing these Bucs take a ton of walks all season, and especially against these Chinooks. 15 in that game last Wednesday. One high and tight. Kelly backs out of there.
Still just one out. Yeah, you got to force, but you can get something in the outfield. That's scoring Max Ross. See Hankins go to third. If you get one in the gap right here, the 6-run lead, I'd be going off contact if I were Hankins.
Great pitch that time from Adams. Finds the inside corner. Double-digit 10 would look nice on that scoreboard for the hometown Bucs. Ball and a strike to the Bucs right fielder. Foul tips this one.
Love Zane just still swinging hard. Late into the game here, he's always has a big swing in him. And a lot of times, he looks like he's swinging really hard, and then he just gets a regular old base hit. He just does such a good job of adjusting, and when he gets in accounts like this 1-2, you might see more of a defensive swing from him.
Fouls this one back, and his bat just always seems to find the ball. No strikeouts so far this year, and he strikes out here. I'll take full responsibility, but a ton of walks for Kelly, a ton of hits as well. None so far today, but 2 walks today, so he's getting on base still half the time he's come to the plate. Fouls it back.
Man, he does not like to get out.
He doesn't want to let me down either.
No, he doesn't. He's just doing a great job. A lot of these pitches are a little bit upstairs. Not that they're not strikes, but the pitches that he's just finding a way to foul off. And now it seems like Adams has to make a good pitch, or at least throw one outside of the zone or try to get a chase. But you got to hand it to Adams. He's really battling here.
Yep, 3 straight foul balls. And the good old announcer's curse, strikes out swinging, does Kelly on that breaking ball on the outside.
I'm sorry, buddy.
I should probably go apologize to him after the game. Hey, it wasn't your fault. That was all me.
Yeah. Seriously. Well, it's okay. It's bound to happen. It's a long season.
If I'm going to do it, I'll do it in an 8-2 game. Can't be taking responsibility for plays like that if it were 8-7. So now Eisenstadt steps in. One misses on the outside.
And a really good pitch there by Adams. Was able to go kind of backdoor with that breaking ball, and it made Zane look silly. And you do not see Zane Kelly looking silly up there a lot.
Looked like he didn't want to swing, and then at the last minute realized it was going to be in the zone, made a last-ditch effort.
Yeah.
Eisenstadt comes up empty.
And you can't really blame him because he'd seen all these pitches right around in the zone and expecting to see another one. And, well, he's probably expecting at that point to see a ball, and that's exactly what he's expecting. And then at the last moment, just finds its way in the zone.
Upstairs, Ross on second, Hankins on first with 2 away in the home half of the 8th inning. 7, 8, and 9 for the Chinooks as their last hope. Loss would put them back below 500 at 4 and 5 in league play. 2-1's up and away.
Yeah, and you know, Coach Cole for the Chinooks wants to keep his team over 500. It's so big just getting back to 500 with that win last night. You're facing a tough Bucs team.
Up and away again, so a 5-pitch walk to Eisenstadt loads the bases up for Will Burns. Burns has walked a couple of times, no hits so far. He can change that. Bucs might add a couple on the scoreboard. Try and put a 10 spot up there. 11 hits in total so far for the Bucs, just 4 for the Chinooks. Ground ball to short. Dagenhart flips to second, and that's the 3rd out of the innings for the Bucs. Leave the bases loaded, but still do lead by 6 as we head to the 9th. Top of the 9th inning. Arnett back out there looking to end things for the Bucs, up 8-2. First pitch misses to Broughton. As the Bucs with an offensive explosion here, as that one's exploded out to left, but gonna hang up for the left fielder Adam Enyart for a loud first out.
Loud indeed. That thing was almost hit right into the gap there, but luckily hung up there for Enyart.
So now Brady Groves comes to the plate with 1 away in the top of the inning. Couple of runs for the Chinooks last frame. This one out to right and caught pretty easily by Zane Kelly. So a couple quick outs so far for the Bucs pitcher Jeremiah Arnett, and now just an out away from ending this thing with an 8-2 win.
Yeah, he's probably asking himself why couldn't have that last inning too. Quick inning. But, you know, just one bad pitch to Jaffe. That's really it. It's a shame that that one bad pitch ended up in 2 runs. But that's just how baseball works sometimes.
Kwapnowski fouls this one back. Barnett looking to end it with the 9th place hitter. 0-1 hit out to right. Going to be another chance for Zane Kelly, and he's got it. So that'll do it. The Bucs take it by a score of 8-2, bounce back from Tuesday's loss, get back into the win column where they belong. As the Bucs high five on the field, we'll take a super quick break, and when we come back, we'll wrap things up after a big Bucs win. Back here at Mulcahy Stadium to wrap things up after a big 8-2 win for the Bucs. And Vic, a great all-around performance, and just great to see the Bucs come out in such a dominant fashion after the loss on Tuesday.
Yeah, the biggest key to the Bucs' success has just been playing sound and balance, good pitching and good hitting. And besides that one mistake that Arnett made to Jaffe, where he just left a breaking ball over the plate, that was it. That was that one mistake. It would have been a shutout otherwise. The bats woke up today. Really sound game. 8 runs. They're not just scoring all those runs in one inning. Obviously, a 4-run fifth inning. But this just really spread out well, and the hitting has just been really good. They're not relying on walks to get guys aboard. They're getting base hits here and there and getting big doubles to bring them in. I love how they're getting those walks and those base hits, and then to bring everyone in, we're getting those doubles, those extra base hits. You're really starting to see the guys find those gaps and drive the balls deep in there.
Yeah, great to see them get runs across when they aren't hitting the ball hard, but then shortly thereafter show that they can hit it hard and really knock the ball around, as we saw in that big inning, that bottom of the 5th, with the Bucs scoring 4 runs. So the final line score for the Chinooks: 2 runs on 4 hits and 1 error. For the Bucs, 8 runs on 11 hits and 4 errors. Before we go, we'll look ahead in the schedule. The Bucs back in action here at Mulcahy tomorrow, hosting the Glacier Pilots. As for the Chinooks, a day off tomorrow. They'll be back here at Mulcahy Stadium as well on Saturday. They'll be facing off against the Pilots. Bucs take it 8-2 for Vic Masslia. I'm Will Hopkins. We'll see you next time.